clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com. Or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
When you're trying to find quality candidates, all the searching, screening, and interviewing can become a job itself. You need Indeed, the all-in-one platform that makes it easy to interview, screen, and hire quality people. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
Right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Thanks for being with us this afternoon. It is a full show that we've got for you here. And I want to play this clip here from Brett Hume first.
Deals with countries like Japan and India, which are of some size and importance, I think might calm the markets. The concern, of course, is you've got China reaching out to trading partners, many of them the same as ours, and saying, don't you be making any deals that are against our interests with the United States. And the United States, in the meantime, of course, is saying, no, you want to work with us. We're the big enchilada here, and you can't afford to be without us. Now, there are a lot of people who think that the U.S. can win that kind of competition with China.
So Britt Hume is talking about the tariffs, the trade deals, everything Donald Trump has been doing in less than 100 days to reshape the system, the way that America government serves the American people, protects the American people, and prioritizes the American people. And yeah, with the tariffs, we see a little bit of pain on the way to hopefully what the president says is going to be some gains. I want to talk to our next guest here. Jason Chaffetz joins us once again, a Fox News contributor and author of the brand new book, They're Coming for You, How Deep State Spies, NGOs, and Woke Corporations Plan to Push You Out of the Economy. Jason Chaffetz, welcome back to the show. It's good to have you here.
Hey, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Of course. I want to get your thoughts as somebody who has served in Congress and the House of Representatives and chaired important committees and seen the inner workings of what some people call the swamp. You are very familiar with it. Your top line thoughts on the president's less than 100 days in his second term, how much he's transforming the way American government serves the American people.
Well, look, and nobody is keeping the pace the way the president does. Look, he won on several different issues. One of the top ones was in immigration. I mean, the way the president was able to almost instantaneously lock down that border has been, I mean, it's just been absolutely fantastic. And then you have to, you have the issues of the Democrats, running to the courts as quickly as possible to try to tie up the president in his ability to deport the people. And that's a whole nother issue. The economy, I think, is getting much better. You're not going to fix it all in 3 weeks. But look, the price of eggs is down. Inflation is down. Gas prices are coming down. The DOGE is rooting out the waste, fraud, and abuse. I mean, people have to understand that nearly 1 out of every $5 that's spent in our country is spent by the federal government. So the reason that we have so much inflation, or had it, it's because we had this massive government spending. And already the president has trimmed that back. You've had Elon Musk and others highlighting the waste, the fraud, the abuse. Lee Zeldin, for instance, doing a great job there at the EPA, cutting literally by the tens of billions of dollars in grants that are going out. And so, you have outstanding issues like tariffs, which will play themselves out. But Annie, I still think the biggest story of the year will be the reconciliation package. The president, the Republicans have to get reconciliation passed. That's the big one.
Well, in this book that you have coming out, and you have been very eager to expose.
Oh, but Annie,
yes,
I can't talk about that too much. That's out there. I don't know how you got it, but I haven't even unveiled that thing yet.
Oh.
But yeah, it's coming July 1st.
Okay.
So yes.
Well, we won't go too far into that, but I do
Okay.
I do want to know how Donald Trump's approach compared to the Biden administration's approach. And Democrats and Republicans alike, but Trump does things a little bit different than just, the straight rip and read Republican way of doing things. He's kind of got his own flavor.
Yeah.
It seems as though Donald Trump's America First mentality has certainly been that of giving American government back to the people. And I still hear from the Democrats, the Bernie Sanders and the AOCs, who seem to be the leaders of the left right now. I feel like what they're saying is you need government, and we are here to protect government. And Donald Trump kind of says we're here to protect you from the government. Is there a swamp? Is there a real swamp out there that needs to be dismantled?
Yeah, and I think it is that simple. I mean, look, Democrat numbers are an all-time low because I think they've really exposed who they are, what they believe in, and what they fight for. I mean, they're fighting like crazy for an MS. The allegation is an MS-13 gang member to be brought back into the United States of America. That shows their true stripes. Donald Trump represents, you're right, America first. We're going to put the needs of the country first. We make no apologies about it. And that drives a lot of people crazy because a lot of Democrats are these globalists and are much more concerned about what Europe thinks of us than, what somebody in St. Louis or Kansas City or Phoenix thinks about us. And making sure that our economy and our workers, when we talk about tariffs and what's not, remember, if you make things in the United States, there are no tariffs. It's zero. So the idea that we got to get our trade rebalanced out, that we've got to get people back to work, that we got to have manufacturing in this country, that we're not so dependent on other countries, that's what Donald Trump campaigned on and, quite frankly, got a mandate to do.
Yeah, it's clear. He was very forward with the American people during his campaign, saying, here are the problems, and this is how I'm going to solve them. I see all the time on X and other social media platforms where it says, people are like, is this what you voted for? And everyone's like, this is exactly what I voted for. And for him to be able to get this much done in 100 days is really incredibly impressive. You were talking about the reconciliation and the necessity to get that taken care of. Is it possible to get a big, beautiful bill done when you have such a slim majority in the House of Representatives?
I don't know. That's going to be a tough one. I'm still skeptical. The only person I think that can pull it off is Donald Trump. And look, if you're a Republican and you rode that wave of republicanism and that surge of patriotism right to the finish line, I think you got to follow through with the president on this one. I hear this chatter about tax increases, and I just think if you're in favor of tax increases, you're in the wrong party. Okay, we're just not doing that. That's not what Republicans, conservatives, that's not how to grow the economy, grow business, support small businesses. That's just not where we should be. But that reconciliation is an extension of tax cuts. There's going to be some other gyrations out there, but I hate it when people say, "Oh no, I gotta have my own way." Being in the legislative branch is a team sport. It's not. You can't go off all on your own, all by yourself. That's not the way our founders set this thing up.
Yeah, I think when a lot of people hate the word compromise, people look at the Democrats when they have power and feel like the Democrats don't have holdouts. They move as a singular unit.
That's right.
I suspect that they do have those arguments. They're better at keeping them behind closed doors. And you've got the Thomas Massey contingent in the House, Rand Paul in the Senate. They kind of have the same approach to their libertarianism when it comes to the economy. Should those people consider compromising their principles in a vote like this in order to actually make progress that might be the whole of what they want, but a good portion of it?
I don't think anybody wants them to sacrifice their principles, but it comes to a choice. you can continue to do what we have done, really, quite frankly, for decades, which is a continuing resolution or an omnibus, which means, hey, we're going to continue with the status quo, or we can do this. And that's the choice that those people are going to have to make. And I think then it becomes much clearer. If they want to form their own government and want to have their own ways with their own policies, then, maybe they should run for president. But, they won't have enough people. And so that's the choice. Do you do what the Democrats want, the status quo, or do you do what Donald Trump is suggesting, which I think is what America is really after?
Well, the website is jasoninthehouse.com. People can connect with you and check out your podcast and always listen to what you have coming next. And I think that it's important to understand you have such an important view into how this structure works. I think we say as voters in our small constituencies, the districts that are represented in the House of Representatives, so small compared to like what the Senate has to deal with, that people do feel like just do what Donald Trump campaigned and won the national election there. They want to see the House of Representatives, the Republicans at least, respond accordingly. But it just seems like it's a much more complicated process than most Americans understand.
Let's try it. Donald Trump had a mandate. Let's try what he wants to do. And then see where the country is, because I'm convinced we'll be much, much better off.
Yeah, it's very transformative for sure. All right, Jason Chaffetz, thank you for the time today. We appreciate you. We look forward to having you back again soon.
Thanks, Annie. Appreciate it.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. JasonInTheHouse.com. You can check out his podcast there as well, on X at Jason in the House, a Fox News contributor and author, former chairman of the House Oversight Committee as well. At 1:25, we're going to have Chairman Jason Smith. He's, of course, Missouri's 8th District representative. He is the chairman of the House Ways and Means Committee. And we're going to talk to him about several things. First and foremost, that big, beautiful bill that we are constantly looking towards getting done and getting completed. I asked Jason there, is it possible to do that with such a slim majority? And he said it's going to be hard, which means what I'm hearing him say is maybe not. Maybe it's not going to come to completion. But we're going to ask Jason Smith what he thinks about that. But he just took a trip to El Salvador, visited some prisons in El Salvador, and he's got some interesting short stories that we want to share with you. Very, very apropos to the moment in time while we're in a weird tug of war between Republicans and Democrats over Abrego Garcia, who looks like he walked out of a Kohl's ad in that margarita meeting with Senator Van Hollen. I'm annoyed by the Kansas City Chiefs hat. It bothers me.
As a Midwesterner.
Yes, as a Midwesterner. I mean, generally as an American, but like you're going to wear a plaid button-up short sleeve shirt and a Kansas City Chiefs hat, Mr. Abrego Garcia, member of MS-13.
They forgot to give him cargo shorts, sandals, and
sandals. Get them white New Balance
and like something to be grilling with. He should have just held that the whole
tongs.
time. Yeah,
let's say there's like his spatula says number one dad.
Yeah, with white socks or black socks and the sandals. Like he should have just been like, "Oh gosh, I didn't even know you guys were coming over."
Yeah.
Well, hey there, Senator.
Why does he sound like he's from the North Midwest?
I don't know. Had to go with an accent. We don't have one. So.
Oh, man. Let's take a quick break. The YouTube live chat poll for today is Trump winning on tariffs? Yes or no? Now, I know a lot of you might say it's too soon to tell. But in my opinion, I don't know if you agree with this. If he's not losing on them right now, he's winning.
That's a fair assessment. That's not where I would have gone with it, but that's a fair assessment.
I think that you either feel like it's a total loss and it can't end positively. We are still in the midst of a process where Donald Trump has said it's going to be hard before it's good, but it's going to be worth it. So we need to know from you, is Trump winning on tariffs? It's simple, yes or no. No middle ground on today's YouTube live chat poll. Want to take phone calls on it?
Yeah.
Let's just do it from the beginning of the show here. If you want to join us and answer that question on the air with us, we'd love to talk to you. 314-241-9797. 314-241-9797. Is Trump winning on tariffs? Give us a call. Let us know. We'll be right back.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show. Talk lines are open now at 314-241-9797 or 866-455-9797.
ArtisticDecks.net. Excited to be able to talk to you about that affordable but dream deck that you are about to put on the back of your home if you hurry up and get in line to Artistic Decks. You can go online to ArtisticDecks.net. You can call them directly at 314-280-0821. Use the best grade of #1 ground contact treated lumber available in this area for the best results. That's what Artistic Decks does. That's what they're committed to. A top quality custom design for your deck that you can have this summer. You got to reach out to them and get in line, though, and the line is not as long as some other places might have been in the past, so you can call 314-280-0821 and discuss with them what your dream deck looks like. The envy of the neighborhood, the gathering place for family where you can enjoy meals and relaxation and maybe an afternoon nap. Doesn't that sound lovely? Expand the living space of your home. When you move your deck and you make a customized exactly everything where you want it to be so that you can live outside of your home, that is a really, really great way to improve just the general enjoyment that you have in your home for at least 3 of the 4 seasons throughout the year. 314-280-0821. 314-280-0821. ArtisticDecks.net.
Your home is your sanctuary. Get the peace of mind you deserve with a free estimate on a Generac home standby generator from Generator Supercenter. They're the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer. With expert installation and 24-hour monitoring, Generator Supercenter won't leave you in the dark. Financing is available. Take control of your power today with Generator Supercenter of St. Louis. Call 314-499-2020. That's 499-2020 or GeneratorSuperCenterofStLouis.com. That's GeneratorSuperCenterofStLouis.com. Hey, Underdog Fantasy just became one of the best places to make entries during the basketball playoffs with their extender promo. With the extender, you can play your way to increasingly bigger boosts each round of the playoffs. You start a playoff series by using your Game 1 boost and continue boosting each game to unlock the next one. The longer the series, the bigger the boosts. Underdog is a leading place to make all of your sports selections, and now you can play in Missouri. You want to get signed up with your username and a password, of course, and then use the promo code MARKR. I'm going to guide you into that in a second. Millions of fans have won billions making plays on Underdog. Will you be the next? And to play, all you have to do is download and then choose whether a player will go higher or lower on one of their stats. And you can choose from things like points, assists, and more. Download the Underdog app and sign up with the promo code MARKR to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. That's promo code MARKR. Must be 18 plus and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
Setting goals for your retirement is one thing, but knowing how to achieve those goals is another.
What are your wishes, hopes, and dreams? What's retirement look like for you? Because everybody, that picture is different.
For tips on building a better nest egg, listen to the All Financial Hour with Steve All, Saturday mornings at 6, here on 97.1 FM Talk.
You can also visit yourmoneymattersstl.com for more details.
Don't get lulled into believing the IRS is getting soft. It's just the opposite. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. We are being told by IRS collection officers that their higher-ups are demanding that they get more aggressive than ever. So don't ignore them any longer. Level up. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call the Lance Story Law Firm today and let us get between you and the IRS. We'll protect your rights, including your right to appeal or even your right to take the IRS to tax court. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems, and they need to be handled by an expert attorney team who's done it for decades. So call the Lance Story Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis, or visit Lance, DRURY, law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Lance Story Law Firm, 314-260-6120.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Is Trump winning on tariffs? Yes or no is the question we're asking you in the YouTube live chat poll today. We're also opening up the phone lines if you happen to have a strong opinion about this one way or another, or if you are very down the middle, but very passionate about it. Either way, you can call in 314-241-9797, 314-241-9797. Let us know what you think in one way or another. That's the YouTube live chat poll today. Is Trump winning on tariffs? 1225. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Hear a lot about sinners. Don't think that I'll be a saint.
Talk lines are open now at 314-241-9797 or 866-455-9797.
Cause the way that the sky opens up when we touch it, it's making me say that the way you hold me, hold me, hold me, hold me, hold me. Feel so holy, 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 holy. Oh God, running to the altar like a track star. Can we end up?
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Our YouTube live chat poll for today is Trump winning on tariffs, yes or no? If you want to give us a call, 314-241-9797. 314-241-9797. Let us know if you think that the president is winning or if it's a loss. You can call us and tell us what you think. I was saying before the break that I think that if you can't argue the case that it's a loss right now, I didn't say did he win. I said is he winning? And when you go back and you think about what the president has said, I mean, he was pretty clear. This isn't going to be a switch flip, right?
Yeah, he knows that this is a long game that he's playing here. I think that he knows fully what the short-term losses will be. So I don't think that any of this is a surprise to Donald Trump.
No, and I think if it were a surprise, he would address it more.
Yeah.
Do something to change it.
Yeah.
We saw JD Vance, of course, he was at the Vatican over the weekend and met with the Pope who passed away the next day. Now he is in India and he was giving a speech on tariffs.
As many of you are aware, both of our governments are hard at work on a trade agreement built on shared priorities, like creating new jobs, building durable supply chains, and achieving prosperity for our workers. In our meeting yesterday, Prime Minister Modi and I made very good progress on all of those points. And we are especially excited to formally announce that America and India have officially finalized the terms of reference for the trade negotiation. I think this is a vital step. Thank you. I believe this is a vital step toward realizing President Trump's and Prime Minister Modi's vision, because it sets a roadmap toward a final deal between our nations.
So the vice president in India talking about essentially the terms, the framework of a deal has been made, has been accomplished. And I think that's a good step. I kind of feel like there might be a domino effect. Like once you get some of the bigger countries out of the way, there are going to be other announcements that follow. So India would certainly be a big one. Of course, Japan is one that is very important. The Japanese have come out and said, you know what, we don't really understand what America is wanting here. We don't understand where the goalposts are. That's what they've said. The American representatives have come back and said, don't believe everything you hear. Of course they did. So some of those negotiations spilling out into the open. But as soon as these deals start being done and being made, I think you're going to see very positive results in our economy and the markets. Right now, the Dow is up 1.73%. So it's a good day. It's up over 600 points. We'll see how it ends. It could be twice that. Could be half that. You never know. We wanted to ask you what you think about this question. Is Trump winning on tariffs? Yes or no? You can call us at 314-241-9797. We've got a couple open lines if you want to grab one right now. We're going to get through phone calls in this segment. We're going to start here with Carl. Carl, thanks for calling the Annie Fry Show. Your thoughts on if Trump is winning on tariffs?
Hey, we got to be honest, guys. I know a lot of us think Trump can do no wrong. Whatever he does is going to be golden.
Carl, do you think Trump can do no wrong?
No.
Well, if you say a lot of us, if you start this with a lot of us think Trump can do no wrong and you're not part of us, are you just implying that we think Trump can do no wrong?
No. I just in general, I think I've come to my friends. I mean, I used to be a conservative Democrat. Now I'm conservative independent.
Mm-hmm.
But we got to be honest. Right now, no. The answer is no. I think it's still too early. It's still just a few days in. So I think a few weeks in. But the number one person we need to deal with was China, and we haven't done that yet. I mean, 30% of everyday goods that we use as the normal average person comes from China. We don't even know it comes from China. I don't. But I'm starting to notice, and it does. So right now, I got to say no. We're not, but it's, again, a few more weeks, you can turn it right around.
So,
I do have to say one thing. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Amy.
Well, I was just going to say that I said going into the break and then coming back here that, in my opinion, since Donald Trump laid out that this was not going to be, all puppy sunshine and rainbows throughout the process, it was going to be difficult at the beginning as they work through the trade deals. He said that in the joint address to Congress earlier, that it was going to be difficult. I said that I think that if he's not obviously losing, then I think that he's winning, because it still seems to be the plan that he said. This is still part of what he said was going to happen. It sounds to me like, and that's fine, that you think until he proves that he's winning, he's losing.
Right, but Andy, let's be honest. At first, he said,
I always try to be, Carl. I always try to be honest. Go ahead.
In the beginning, he said it's going to be great. Right from day one, it's going to be fine. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
He did say that. Then he changed and said, well, it's not going to be so great. It's not going to be so good in the beginning.
I don't think he changed it.
He did. The answer changed, Annie. So if he,
I don't think. I think Donald Trump, if anything, he was asked about tariffs in every interview he was in, because it seemed kind of like it could be a bipartisan negative against him, that there were going to be Republicans, Democrats. Steve Moore is our expert economic guest on Mondays, and he has said on this show he doesn't like tariffs. So we know that there are people on both sides of the aisle that don't like the tariff thing. However, how many days do you think Donald Trump should get as a president in his second term? Hold on.
In a couple of weeks.
Carl, how many? You think that Donald Trump should be able to reshape the entire global trade atmosphere in how many days?
No, I don't think that at all. I'm just saying what he said in the beginning has changed from what he said recently. Okay, and that's just true. That's real. So
I understand that you think that. I don't agree with that statement. We can have differing opinions on it, but that was not my interpretation, that he was going to come in and snap his fingers and world trade would be different.
Oh, I felt that. He said that.
Did you think that, Ryan?
He said everything's gonna be
So
great.
the difference between what he was saying in the campaign and now, I don't think it was a wide difference. I think there's a difference in tone. Like, it was a lot more positive during the campaign, and now he's like, yeah, it's the same words, but he's like, but it's going to take some time.
In the campaign, he was selling the results, and now he's got to sell the process to still get the same results.
I agree with that. I agree with that. Can I say one thing though before I get cut off?
You're not.
Ryan, a few months. Okay, thanks. Ryan, a few months. I got to call you out on this.
Oh, you got the rest of the show, Carl. You just take it from here.
No, I listen to you guys every single day as a person that's not a Republican, but I appreciate your opinions. And Ryan, I want to say this too. When you were by yourself a week ago, I loved your show when Annie was gone.
Oh,
I thought it was great. It was a great show.
I really agree that we should just keep this going.
I really thought it was a great show. I'm like, well, I can't wait till he gets his own show. He's going to be great. He's going to be awesome.
He's got one on the weekend.
I do have a show. Yeah. Yeah. Tune in on Saturday mornings at 7.
Well, no, I have kids. That's not going to happen.
We all understand that.
Yeah, I get that too.
So, but Ryan, after saying that, I got to call you on this. You said during the campaign, he goes, yeah, they're going to make some cuts. We probably won't even notice what the cuts are. They're just going to be there. We noticed. We're noticing.
What do you notice, Carl? What did you notice?
Two of my friends that worked for the Veterans Department were fired. I've noticed that there's
my understanding though, Carl, and this is speaking from the person who chairs the Veterans Affairs Committee in Congress, is that it's like a 0.5% of workforce that has been.
It's noticeable. It's noticeable.
Let me address. I understand what you're saying. You're saying people's jobs have been lost. They're of course feeling that. My context for saying that is very much, does the average citizen notice their services have changed? That was the context of what I was saying. And I think I stand by that and say, I don't think by the end of this 4 years, the average American is going to notice their services have changed for the worse at all.
We'll see. Honestly, I can't argue that point because we don't know what's going to happen. But I will say this, it's a lot at one time. You know, when you hear the rhetoric of closing down the CDC, closing down the IRS, closing down the education department, doing all these other things all at once, it just seems like a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it's not, but it feels and seems like there's a lot. But why can't we do this in steps?
Carl, I
Why
think
can't-
it is a lot. I think it's a ton, and I think he did it all at once so that we could have this hold our breath under the water, and in his mind and in his commitment to the American people, we come back up and things are fresh and new. So it's a rip the Band-Aid off thing. But maybe it won't all be great. We'll have to wait and see, won't we?
Yeah, you guys are great. I appreciate your show, and I'll keep listening. And Ryan, you're still good in my book, brother.
Oh, good. I'll lose you at some point, I'm sure. But
Carl, thank you. We appreciate you. Great call. Tom, thanks for calling the Annie Fry Show. If you want to tell us what you think about Trump winning on tariffs, yes or no? How's he doing?
Well, number one, I think it's too early to tell. But number two, it's something he absolutely has to do because free trade is something we simply cannot have. With the European VAT essentially being about a 30% tariff as it is, I think we need to have our own VAT or tariff or whatever. And starting at 10%, so we don't upset the markets right away, 10% this year I think would be great. Maybe 15% next year and 20% the following year, and maybe get up to 30% for everything, for everybody. I think it'd be a great idea.
Well, I appreciate the call, Tom. Thanks for reaching out to us. 314-241-9797 if you want to hurry up and get in line to have this conversation. You can also vote on our YouTube poll. If you go to YouTube on your phone, on the app on your phone, you can just type in Annie Fry. You'll see we're broadcasting live right now on your computer or on your smart screen, smart TV. You can also type in Annie Fry in YouTube, and we'll be broadcasting live. You can see it there. Hello to everybody who's watching. And in the live chat portion, so there's a comment section. You can be a part of a live conversation that takes place every day during the show. It's always very lively. We've got people of all stripes that participate in it, and we'd love to have you. And you can tell us if Trump is winning on tariffs, yes or no. Brad, what are your thoughts on it?
Well, the important distinction that you have made already is that winning is not the same as has won. And I think you make a really good point whenever you say that if he isn't blatantly losing on tariffs. So whenever I think of what would cause him to be blatantly losing on tariffs would be things like different countries running into the arms of China, or they just come back with more reciprocal tariffs until, everything is too expensive for anything. I'm not seeing that happen. I'm seeing countries saying, hey, yeah, we're open to deals. I'm seeing countries that are willing to go back and forth and try to get a good deal for their countries with the United States. I think that is winning. I think renegotiating deals and trying to get a more fair market for businesses that are American is a good thing. So I would say, yes, he is winning on tariffs.
Do you think Donald Trump's having fun?
Oh,
do you think he's enjoying this moment right now? Well, yes. We're all on the edge of our seat going, is he like, this is the best?
This is built for Donald Trump's. This is in his bones. What's happening right now? This is the fulfillment of a lifetime of talk. He's actually doing the things he's always said.
A lot of people are talking about recession being upon us. Here's a CNBC clip here real quick about, are we headed to a recession?
You don't think we're headed into a recession in your plans at this point?
There's no signs that we see at this point that we're in or close to a recession. There are signs that growth may be slowing. And again, we have to always be prepared for that. But ours is a long cycle business. The capital we put to work in our business isn't there for just a few years. It's typically there for decades. So we really have to take a longer view and not get buffeted too much by short-term market movement.
I think it's interesting to look at like money people talk about this. I've been paying a lot of attention to Fox Business and CNBC lately because money people handle all of this stuff so differently than the neuroticism of the political world.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of like, it's a good anchor point.
It's like listening to somebody talk about the White House versus talking to somebody who's in the White House.
Yeah. They're both entertaining. And I prefer like 3 parts politics, 1 part sedative. All right, let's get to Derek. Derek, thank you for calling the Annie Fry Show. Is Trump winning on tariffs? Yes or no? What do you think?
Oh, absolutely. I think some things are going to change though, especially if like the board game, circle, like comic books and all. I think you're start seeing a lot of stuff drop ship. I mean, you consider like the distributors, the middlemen and all that. It's just going to be behooving for us to start buying that stuff at directly from the source instead of through a middleman, through another middleman, through distributor, and finally at the comic book shop. I think you're going to see all that cut out just to not get the raises and the price increases from that. So I think you're going to see a lot of that too.
Streamline. Yeah, I appreciate the call, Derek. Thank you. Let's do one more before we go to a break. Andy, thank you for... turn down your radio, Andy. He's going to hear here in a second. That
Well,
I'm
you made a
talking
great point. We might as well listen to it again.
about. Yeah, Derek. Andy, you with us?
Increases on that. So I think you're going to see a lot of that too.
He's still
Pretty
listening.
much, yeah. I appreciate the call.
Here
guys.
comes.
Thank you.
Andy.
Let's do one more before
Let's
we
hear Andy. Hear Andy.
Yeah, Andy, turn down your radio. Talk to us on the radio. It's gonna be like
Oh, hi. Can you hear me?
Yeah, hey, Andy.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. Is Trump winning on tariffs? Yes or no? What do you think, Andy?
Absolutely. I think the previous guy might have taken one of my points, but I look at it this way. When we haven't done anything to even the playing field or to match the tariffs being charged against us, if he gets any movement at all, it's a win. It's 100% win.
Yeah.
So I think we're looking at this all upside down. We're looking for some, 80% cut in our cost or whatever. If you take our combined income, our GDP, and he's able to negotiate, let's just use a low number, like 5% to 10% reduction on our costs across the board, we're talking hundreds of billions of dollars.
And yeah,
so I don't see how you cannot say it's a huge win if we have any success at all. It's 100% more than we had before him.
yeah, with a president who has the guts to do it and to
Yeah,
lead America
absolutely.
first. Andy,
Absolutely.
thank you for listening. We appreciate you. Thanks for calling in as well.
Yeah, thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye. All right, we have to get to a break. Sorry to the people that we did not get to. We might take phone calls later in the show as well if time allows. So put this number in your phone. So the next time that you hear that we're going to take phone calls, we're trying to do this a little bit more often. 314-241-9797. 314-241-9797. Just put it in there. Just put Annie Fry Show in there, and then you can call us. When we say we're going to take calls, you'll have the number all ready to go.
This is an interesting topic because all four of those callers had different points, and they were all pretty good points.
Mm-hmm. And they're not sycophantic.
No, not at all. And Andy's in particular at the end there is one that I hadn't really even approached this question from, which is, well, if you start from zero and you gain anything, that's a win. So,
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's a good
Which
point.
is true.
Yeah.
A win is a win.
All right, let's take a quick break. Wiggins America next. The 7 most shameless attention seekers in Congress, according to
Politico.
Politico, not you.
Not me.
We're going to judge Politico
We are.
when we come back. All right, stick around. Go vote in the YouTube live chat poll if you want to get in on this question. Maybe you didn't want to call in. You can leave a comment. You got to subscribe. You got to wait 5 minutes before you can comment. That's just to make sure that you're committed to it and you're not there to troll us. Russell says, no, wait, that's that's an old comment. Joe says yes, with the caveat that he did not expect the extended pushback from nations that makes no sense, self-destructive. See China. And Ender said, as of right now, no, part of it is his own fault, sure, but as a society, we are so averse to any pain whatsoever, and politicians are more than happy to wield that aversion for political gain. That's for sure. All right, Wiggins America next. Don't go away.
This is the Annie Fry Show. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
The first step pleases the Father. Might be the hardest to take.
Stewart's American Mortgage, your bagel loan mortgage guy. That's really what it comes down to. He's my bagel loan mortgage guy. I've used the bagel loan twice, and I've been able to lower my rate and get a great rate locked in a few years ago. Glad that I did it upon Stewie's advice. But you can do that too. If you've gotten your mortgage in the last 3 years, you need to call or text Stewie. It's not going to cost you anything to call him. And when you go through the process of securing the lower rate now available to you at 314-324-4440, it's not going to cost you anything to refinance that mortgage. Whether you are looking for a new home purchase or a refinance of your current mortgage, maybe you need to take some equity out of your home. A lot of people have a lot more equity in their home right now than they did maybe when they bought it. Stewie's there to guide you through the whole process and make sure that he leaves you in a much better economic situation than what you started in. 314-324-4440. Call or text my friend Stewie at 314-324-4440. And remember, when you use the bagel loan, you pay $0 in closing costs. It's that simple. Google the bagel loan, NMLS number 226715.
Hi, Chad Hansen with Hansen's Tree Service. Spring is a great time for tree maintenance and removal. At Hansen's Tree Service, we have a full staff of certified arborists that can help you with everything you need when it comes to tree care. Get ahead of spring storms and check us out at hansonstreet.com.
If you're the victim of a car accident or suffered a work injury in St. Louis, you want attorneys who live here and work here to handle your case. You want someone who knows St. Louis and is about St. Louis. You want Kaufman Townsley. Call 314-500-5000.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw with Retirement Advisory Group. Are you worried about market volatility? Are you concerned your money won't last you through retirement?
Hi, I'm Tammy Kershaw, and as a family-owned business, we are committed to protecting your retirement, whether you're nearing retirement or already retired. We have a lot of folks that aren't aware of all the new investment choices that are available, which give you growth and protection from losses at the same time. Are you aware of all the fees that you are currently paying? We can show you how to avoid those fees. So come in now for your free retirement review and get a second opinion on your retirement plan. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of our latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. Let us show you how to retire with confidence.
We are proud to say we haven't lost a penny of our clients' money in 39 years, and we won't lose a penny of yours either. Let our family help your family. Call us now at 314-993-9494 or go online to retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
Scott, can you believe it's already been more than a decade since the Queen of Carpet sold flooring to St. Louis area contractors?
I know, but I don't have to be a king to offer contractors today's lowest prices.
Yes, contractors owe it to their customers and themselves to shop at Best Buy Flooring for the largest in-stock selection of carpet, carpet tile, sheet vinyl, laminate, hardwood, luxury vinyl plank, and luxury vinyl tile.
Plus 3 convenient locations, North County, South County, and Metro East.
Open 7 days a week.
Best flooring, best selection, Best Buy Flooring.
Guys, it's time to take charge of your health with my friends at Victory Men's Health. Mark Cox here. I already love what they do at Victory. They do hormone optimization, sexual health, weight loss, even vitamin deficiencies. Now they're offering specialty cardiovascular testing and even early detection cancer screening. Visit them at one of their 4 great locations, now in Sunset Hills, Town and Country, O'Fallon, Missouri, and O'Fallon, Illinois. Tell them Mark Cox sent you. Go to victorymenshealth.com.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is celebrating 55 years of residential and commercial service, maintenance, and installation of heating and cooling systems. Get in your comfort zone. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Tuesday afternoon, Missouri Congressman Jason Smith is just back from a trip to Panama and El Salvador, and he did visit the prison where Abrego Garcia is staying. He'll share the latest.
The Mark Reardon Show, weekdays from 3 to 6. This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on X at Annie Fry Show.
Wiggins! Oh! Wiggins! I've got the 7 most shameless attention seekers in Congress here.
Should we guess them?
Well, you can. Yeah, if you want to
we
start.
don't have to. How would you like? This is your segment.
I would like to just read a couple to you.
You should have your own show.
And then see. I'm not getting up at 7.
I want Ryan and Carl to have their own show together.
That'd be fine. Carl, no way. He's not coming in, though. It's too early. He said so.
Anywho.
All right. These are the 7 most shameless attention seekers in Congress. The first one, and this is bipartisan. So Politico is looking at both sides of the aisle.
Is number 1 the most? Is there any order to these?
I don't know that there's an order. I think actually it's almost like it rises. Like these are the newer ones, and then you get to the ones that have always been that way.
I'm writing down my.
Yeah, go ahead. Write down your list and see if it matches.
Does it say like this is from Politico? Does it say like what attention seeking?
Not really.
And when was it dated?
No, just I think this was yesterday.
Fresh.
Very fresh. 4/21. That was yesterday. All right, the first one, and this is what really caught my attention was this first one. Senator Chris Murphy, the Democrat wannabe leader of the #Resistance Award is what Politico gave him, turned himself into the Senate's answer to Mr. Beast.
So this is Congress. This isn't just the House.
Oh, this is entire Congress.
Changes my list.
He appears anywhere and everywhere to feed the algorithms. It says Politico. He has done YouTube interviews with political personalities, appeared on influencers' podcasts and TikToks. And of course, he recently made himself the center of attention by going down to El Salvador strictly to meet with and sympathize with the MS-13 gang
Chris
member.
Murphy?
Senator Chris Murphy. Oh, that wasn't him, was it?
No, that was
I added that because I was thinking that was him.
I was going to say, I don't trust anything in this article.
No, don't
it's Chris
trust
Van
that.
Hollen.
Don't trust that. That is Chris Van Hollen, not Chris Murphy.
Wrong, Chris.
Yeah, wrong, Chris. So this guy is everywhere. Chris Murphy of Connecticut. His social media followings have skyrocketed recently because he is the self-professed leader of the hashtag resistance.
It's the most annoying thing. If a congressperson can get one interviewer to ask him, are you considering a run for president in 2028? All it takes is one. And then everyone else is like, gotta ask that question, gotta pin him down. For these Congress people to go interview and be like, they get to ask that question. They're like, I'm committed to the constituents of my district in the state of Illinois, and I want what's best for them, and I want to protect the Constitution, and I will fight every day that I come to work in order to protect that for them. And then they don't say anything about it. And they're like, but are you going to run for president? And they're like, oh, we're not. I'm not. Right now, I'm focused on I'm focused on my district.
Which is what you have to say.
But I know. But can we just plug in? Can we know that you're going to ask that question, you're going to say this and not ask it? But the money comes in.
No, you have to. You have to ask it, and you have to answer that.
I don't think you have to ask it.
And
not a flipping Chris Murphy.
As a constituent, when you hear that, do you say, "Oh, good," or do you think, "No, this is just what he's supposed to say or she's supposed to say"?
Second.
The next one is, see if this person's on your list. Senator Ted Cruz.
Yes.
Is he?
Oh yeah.
He's the award that Politico gave him. Most obsessed with his own podcast award.
Yeah. I have 9 people on my list, but the first one was I was just thinking House.
It says Senator Ted Cruz represents more than 31 million Texans, but he spends much of his time focused on his real audience, the fans of his podcast.
I think that Ted Cruz is way too smart for normal people. From a likability standpoint, I think he could be a Supreme Court justice, and I would be happy for a very long time. I think he is incredibly smart. But when you listen to him, you're like, yeah, he's smarter than me. And I think he knows it. And they should be ashamed of it. But it's just not like, I'm trying to think of
you should be ashamed of yourself,
I'm trying to think of a dumber congressperson that I could say, unlike this person.
Well, wait until the next one.
Well, I don't want to insult anybody. I just think he's super smart. And he just has lived a life that we haven't because of it.
Yeah.
AOC.
I don't have a problem with him doing any congressperson or elected official doing a podcast.
No, I think they all should have one.
Talking to people more is great.
Yeah.
But if that's all you're doing, he definitely does love that podcast. All right. The next one is Representative Jasmine Crockett, the most likely to mug for the C-SPAN Cameras Award, according to Politico.
She hasn't done anything.
Members of Congress routinely make inflammatory statements in congressional hearings to gain attention in cable news hits. But Texas Democrat Representative Jasmine Crockett has managed to become a perpetual content machine, basically just through these
Republican
Congressional
Party.
hearings.
Oh, okay.
That's what it says.
I wonder the exposure rate, Democrat voters to Republican voters. Who is more exposed to Jasmine Crockett? I bet it's Republicans.
It reminds you of The View. You're like, is anybody actually watching this, or does this exist for clips?
Yeah, they talk about how all these extreme opinions from the Democratic Party are coming from the minority of the Democratic Party, the loud of them. I feel like Jasmine Crockett is the loud. That's what she is within that party.
She's good at doing that, but then she's getting called out by Politico for being like, that's pretty much what you do, though.
But that's what I feel like that's what she's going for too. She's trying to get those clicks from people, and the Republican Party is giving it to her because it makes them so mad.
I doubt this person is on anybody's list because I don't actually really recognize the name. Representative Tim Burchett.
Oh yeah,
Burchett. Yeah,
Burchett.
Yeah, from Tennessee.
Republican from Tennessee. I don't know him. He will give a quote to a network news MAGA podcast.
Brad, what's his social security number?
Any random journalist wandering the halls of Congress. He's not just voluble, he's colorful and folksy, which means that reporters are usually happy to use his takes.
He's the one who just said he was walking in the Capitol Hill and he told that
Yes.
he asked some snotty reporter who was a lefty who was walking next to him. He was like, "Does your mom still warm up your hot pockets?"
Oh, that was that guy.
Yeah.
I did see that. Yes.
That guy.
The guy that was just following him around with
Which
a phone.
honestly, if you're walking to your job and you're walking, and I've been to the Capitol. I see where the offices are and the path that these Congress people have to walk to get into if they don't take the tunnels and stuff. And if you're walking from point A to point B and some snotty reporter comes up and starts asking you annoying questions and you say something about your mom warming up your hot pockets, that's not really attention seeking, you know? Like he's in at work and going to and from, and he's just funny.
I thought the same thing when I saw that. I'm like, well, he's not trying to get attention. There's people with camera on him. And he says that when he says that to that kid, basically, he's very young. He's like, look, you're the person assigned to me, basically, to throw landmines down in front of him every single day.
Tracker.
I wish I could come up with comebacks that quickly. I mean, that was on the spot.
Yeah.
He had to be ready.
I guess so.
Apparently that
I
kid.
bet that's not the first time he said that.
Exactly. Senator Mark Warner, most likely to never miss a cocktail party. This is an insider DC thing.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like they wrote the article to air that.
Yeah, they have a problem with him. He snubbed their party.
Apparently. Or maybe he made a scene.
He never misses a cocktail party except for the Politico one.
Mark's reading this list going, oh, yeah, that's a good... Me? Why
Wait
am
a
I?
minute. Well, I'm not going to your party.
Democrat from Virginia still makes plenty of time to visit endangered Washington habitats like the cocktail party. This does feel a little personal.
Yeah, it feels super personal.
Before we run out of time, let's get to the last two. The main one here, they kind of build to this one. They say the Lifetime Achievement Award for attention-seeking congresspeople goes to Lindsey Graham.
AOC and MTG are not on this list.
I thought the same thing.
They're the same.
How could those two not be on here? Yeah. The Lifetime Achievement Award goes to Lindsey Graham for he's been thirsty for a generation.
Should go hang out with Mark Warner.
Now, because it's Politico, they also toss in J.D. Vance. He doesn't actually reside in Congress anymore, but he's the president.
J.D.
of the
Vance
Senate.
he's not attention seeking.
I didn't think
Weird,
so either.
He's kind of like Forrest Gump in that things keep happening to him and he keeps finding himself in wild places, like the vice presidency.
Right.
Good for him. We're good. We're better for it, of course. In the next hour, Jim Carafano joins us and Chairman Jason Smith, Missouri's 8th District Representative. Let's talk about that big, beautiful bill. Go vote in the YouTube poll. Is Trump winning on tariffs? We'll be right back.
If you have been in a car accident in the past and have settled your case, I may have some good news. Some unethical lawyers have people known as runners who come directly to your hospital room or home and solicit your case. It's a disbarable offense. Anyone that would hire these scumbags needs to have their heads examined. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Now for the good news. If this happened to you, we will sue these lowlifes and fight to get all your fees back. And then look and see if these bottom feeders also malpracticed your case and sue them for that too. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. Visit forthepeople.com for a free consultation or call Pound Law on your cell, pound 529. If someone does this to you, call the Bar Association and report them. Let's fight these bums. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com. Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
May I encourage you to go to STS Armory in Pontoon Beach, Illinois. Firearms, ammunition, security, safe devices, holsters, freeze-dried food. They got that stuff there too. It's pretty great. Your questions are going to find answers at STS Armory. If you are an expert and you know exactly what you want people who understand and respect that. STS Armory. Their brand new location located in Pontoon Beach, just a little bit not too far away from the old one. Go check it out. See what they have to offer you. Ask your questions. Get your CCL renewal taken care of. If you are looking to carry now for the first time legally, you need to go through the process of getting that license. They can help you with that. They are wonderful instructors. You will feel so much better for having gone. And if you're a beginner, brand new, never fired a gun, start at STS Armory with the educational classes that they have to offer you there in Pontoon Beach, Illinois. Online right now at sts-armory.com.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
The final earthly images. I'm Therese Crowley, Fox News. Released by the Vatican, Pope Francis in a red robe in his open wooden coffin, rosary in hands, before the viewing begins at St. Peter's Basilica tomorrow, with his Vatican state funeral Saturday. Fox's Alex Hogan at St. Peter's Square.
As cardinals arrive from around the world, the first meeting took place with 60 of them present for that decision to set the funeral time and date for Saturday, 10 a.m. local, 4 p.m. Eastern. Starting tomorrow morning, the Pope will lay in state at St. Peter's Basilica for the faithful to pay their respects and to say goodbye until Saturday's service. The Vatican announced last night that Pope Francis suffered a stroke. He went into a coma and then he died of heart failure. He was 88 years old. His death triggered the long series of events that will play out over the coming days and weeks to come to select a new pope and, of course, to honor the late pontiff.
Cardinals under age 75 will choose the next pope by secret ballot. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth rejects media allegations of more Signal group chat sensitive information. Fox's Alexandria Hoff on his Fox and Friends interview.
The secretary said that he believes that others in that group chat outside of family members with an axe to grind leaked the information to the New York Times.
When you dismiss people who you believe are leaking classified information, and again, the investigation is ongoing and that will take time, and when the evidence produced, it will go to DOJ. Why would it surprise anybody, Brian, if those very same people keep leaking to the very same reporters whatever information they think they can have to try to sabotage the agenda of the president or the secretary?
Hegseth did not deny that the Signal chat existed, but said the information was not classified, though NBC News is reporting that Hegseth used his personal phone to relay some information on fighter jet flight times, which could have compromised pilot safety.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio rolling out a massive overhaul of the State Department, which would also consolidate more than 100 bureaus. America's listening to Fox News.
What up, fellow Gen Xers? Elizabeth Banks here. As the original Latchkey kids, we took things into our own hands, like house keys and video game controllers. And now it's time for us to do it again, because the recommended age to get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia has been lowered to 50 and older, even if you're healthy. We're at over 6 times greater risk compared to adults under 50. So go to vaxassist.com and schedule. Gen X, this is our shot. Sponsored by Pfizer.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. That does give us certain advantages, for example, in focus and resources. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Cordell & Cordell, a partner you can count on.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis. CordellCordell.com.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Temperatures are warmer compared to yesterday. The south wind is back 80 degrees. Lots of sunshine, above average temperatures. Tonight, clear skies, a delightful evening with temperatures in the 70s, dropping through the 70s, 56. Partly sunny on Wednesday, maybe a spot shower. Don't worry about it. 80. Some scattered showers and thunderstorms Thursday with an increase in that activity Friday. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
If you're considering an annuity as part of your retirement plan, we need to talk. Hi, I'm Bob Stockdale, Senior Vice President Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Annuities can be a useful tool for some retirement investors, but not all annuities are created equal. Every week, we meet clients who own complex annuities that don't suit their needs and, in some cases, actively undermine their retirement plan. Before you purchase an annuity, get a second opinion from the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel. Requesting a consultation is free of charge. To request a free consultation, contact us at clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com, or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member NYSE and SIPC.
Summer is on the way, or should I say the heat in St. Louis, it's on its way. Be here before we even know it. If you haven't had your air conditioners checked and set up and ready to go for this cooling season, or if you were told you might need a new one, or you just think this is the time of the year. This year is the time to just go ahead and replace it. Prices are down. 0% financing is available. It's still the best time to call me. Don't put it off. One easy number in Missouri and Illinois. It is 314-293-2600. Again, that's 314-293-2600 in Missouri and Illinois, or on the internet, bartinman.com. That is Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon. You want the best for your parents, but making the right senior living choice can feel overwhelming. Let me make it easier. New Perspective in Weldon Spring is where older adults can thrive, not just reside. At New Perspective, your loved one will enjoy chef-prepared meals, engaged activities, state-of-the-art technology, and a welcoming community that feels like home. You'll have peace of mind knowing that they have care available when they need it. Visit npseniorliving.com to schedule a tour today. New Perspective, where every day is a chance to live life on purpose.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com or call us toll-free at 888-367-6512.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
Right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
For goodness sake, kid, keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Russian President Vladimir Putin on Monday proposed bilateral talks with Kyiv for the first time in years and said he was open to more ceasefires after a one-day Easter truce. Putin's comments come as he faces pressure from Washington to show a willingness to make peace in Ukraine. Speaking to a state TV reporter, he said Moscow was open to any peace initiatives and expected the same from Kyiv.
Well, we've watched the president come into his second term talking about the need to achieve peace between Russia and Ukraine, said he was the man for the job. We're 90-something days into this second term, and he hasn't been able to snap his fingers and bring everyone to the table. But I do believe it sounds like he has made progress. Let's get to Jim Carafano and see what he has to say about this. The senior counselor to the president and E.W. Richardson Fellow for International Engagement at the Heritage Foundation on X at JJ Carafano. Jim, welcome back. Good to have you here.
Yeah, so when you see those commercials and then they said there's the fine print at the bottom.
Yeah.
Like this will give you cancer, But
are we in the fine print?
Right. Yes. When Trump said I could end the war in 24 hours, he wasn't just blowing smoke, but people didn't really pay attention to what was behind that, which is that's if both parties were willing to come to the table and make a deal.
Mm-hmm.
And that can be done in 24 hours. But what's been very clear is Putin is being very Russian, which is the Russians want something for nothing. They want to get everything. And that's always their opening negotiating position. And so getting Putin to the point where he has to think, you know what, it's not going to get any better for me. And really, of all the leaders in the world, Donald Trump is the only person who could do that. I don't know if we're at that point, but we might be at that point.
Jim Carafano joining us right now with the Heritage Foundation. I think that listening to the way Donald Trump talks, and he always gives you like, this is what we're going to get to. We've talked a lot about tariffs here on the show and how he has said, we're not going to snap our fingers and make everything great. We're going to go through a little bit of up and down before we get to where we need to go. But you got to do hard things to get the actual good results. Do you feel like on a foreign policy level, he's got a lot of things he's juggling right now? Is he delivering?
I think so. Actually, I think, again, it's really remarkable. I mean, I've been dealing with this guy for, a decade of my life now. And when I say this is what we need to do and this is what needs to get done, normally, I think I agree with him on almost everything. But where we tend to differ is I'm a lot more patient and a lot more conservative in the sense that I'm always thinking about, okay, do this and then do that. But Trump is like, no, just do it all and do it now. And you have to understand, he knows he's only a one-term president. He knows, unlike last time, he has the experience and a really competent team to get things done. And he only has 4 years to do that. And there's so much to get done because, let's be honest, I'm not, again, not Republican, not a Democrat, but the reality is Biden screwed a lot of stuff up. And he's just very impatient to do that. And his answer is the only way to do that is to just carpet bomb the world and try to get it all done at once. And maybe the argument is, there's so much disruption, there's so much turmoil, there's so much pressure on people that people are going to respond to me. And I guess that's the strategy.
Yeah, Jim, we were talking about other things that the president is engaged in all at once. He has approached so many things, and he hasn't even reached 100 days yet in his second term.
Right.
A lot of it has foreign policy consequences, benefits, good consequences, bad consequences. The tariffs certainly are a foreign policy issue to the extent that our partnerships are they in question right now? How do the tariffs affect our relationships with allies and people who may be sometimes our allies?
Well, here's a couple of things to watch for. On the Russia front is one, does Putin fold? And if he doesn't, how does the United States respond to that? That I think is a key indicator of where this administration is going. On the other one is look at take a 90-day view here and look and see what happens. If some key countries, and it's not necessarily the most important trade partners with us, it's really the important trade partners with China, see what they do. If they come to the table and cut a deal, Indians, by the way, just announced that they agree in the terms of reference for a deal. The Japanese have already been here. If you start to see those fall into place, then you know that those are pretty good indicators about how effective Donald Trump's being.
Yeah. And he's leading the charge on this, but he's got a lot of people when he assembled his cabinet leading into his actual inauguration. There was a lot of preparation that went into all of these different things that he wanted in his transformative second term. The Ukraine conflict, or the Ukraine-Russia war, I should say, it's more than a conflict, has been a very important issue for Americans. We have a lot invested in it. Ukraine has been very wrongfully attacked. So many people have died in this war. What is a workable resolution in America's role in that, with that war?
Well, I actually think we're pretty close to this. One is, look, we want the fighting to stop, not just because that's going to save innocent Ukrainian lives, which is, I think, actually should be the most important thing on the list, but also that dramatically decreases the potential for the conflict to spread in Europe. The other thing is we need the Europeans to stand up and carry the load in helping ensure a free and independent Ukraine. And quite honestly, we're kind of seeing that. I mean, not only are Europeans increasing their own defense spending in their own countries, but they're increasingly stepping up and adding into Ukraine. And the fact that the Americans going to get this mineral deal with Ukraine is a strong indicator that we're not walking away and leaving Ukraine. The other thing is, it's also another thing to watch for is Trump is making mineral deals all over the world. He is bound and determined to break China's monopoly on the control of rare earths and other critical minerals that are needed for global production. So in the next 3 or 4 months, we're going to see if all of this is starting to break the U.S. way. And, if I was betting today, I wouldn't bet against the guy.
Yeah, I think that is safe. That is a safe way to bet. When we're speaking with Jim Carafano right now, senior counselor to the president and E.W. Richardson Fellow for International Engagement at the Heritage Foundation, Donald Trump has boasted about his willingness to talk to and in some ways legitimize people like Vladimir Putin. Of course, we in his first term saw his relationship evolve, I guess I would say, with North Korea. China is always the big question mark. It's kind of seems like a necessary evil for the American economy, but also a concern that we have in how China is involved in a lot of our conflicts that we are a part of across the world. Is the tariff strategy, do you feel like his efforts on tariffs are really about China? Does it all kind of surround what kind of deal he can get done with China? Is China the make or break?
Well, I mean, that's what it's evolved into. And it's actually not getting a deal with China. I mean, Trump is very predictable in the sense that he always offers his adversaries an off-ramp, except for terrorists. He just kills terrorists. But everybody else, the Russians, North Korea, he's always offered them an off-ramp. It's like, and if you take it, great, then we're done. But it's not just getting a deal. Of course, everybody loves to do deals, but Trump doesn't like to do bad deals. So if you can get to a deal that protects America's interests, fine. I don't have a problem doing a deal with you. And as an alternative of me stomping on you. That's what he's doing with China. He's doing with Russia. He's doing Iran. I'm not super optimistic on a lot of these because in the end, you're asking these countries to negotiate away the thing that's most important to them, which is destroying the United States. And they just don't see that as in their interest. So I'm not super optimistic we're going to get, big successful deals with countries like Iran and China, even Russia. I'm not expecting Russia to become a good guy overnight. I'm expecting a very, very small and narrow deal. But that's the president's style, is to say, we don't have to do this. He, at the end of the day, is just an unbelievably compassionate man who cares about people, and he doesn't want people to suffer. He's not trying to impose his will on the world. He's not being a bad guy just to be a bad guy. He's pressuring people to get good things done for all Americans and for our friends and allies in the end as well, I think.
That's high praise for President Trump, and the media and a political party, the political opponent, I should say, has worked very hard to make sure people don't see Donald Trump as a human. And you referred to him as compassionate. That's not the way the American media has presented him for some time. And we're always warned, like, what are our allies going to think? What is the sentiment towards President Trump, the relationship, the expectation of his personality across the world?
Well, look, I think there's the popular media that, caricatures that are whipped up. There are people that sure as hope and aspirations who obviously push for success. And then honestly, I got to be honest with you, I think most leaders in the world, the people that actually have to make the decisions, their response to Trump is pragmatic. We realize that if we're going to work with this guy, we have to find something that works for him and works for us and find a pragmatic solution. And if we get there, the president will accept that. And that's kind of the way they come at this.
Yeah. Politics is so emotional. Policy is really not, it seems.
Right.
And I've heard President Trump even say about President Xi, like, as far as the trade deal imbalance goes, he's like, I understand why President Xi was doing it because we let him. And he
Right.
kind of gives deference and respect to President Xi for getting the best deal for China and just saying that's not the way it's going to play anymore. Do President Trump and President Xi have a working relationship?
They do, but I think their core objectives are so different. It's going to be very difficult for them. They'll find out a way to live in the world together, but they're not going to find out a way to solve all these problems. The other thing I would say is, too, you hear these things about, there's chaos in the Trump administration. These people are arguing this, and these people, and again, but this is Trump's way of doing things. Trump likes to hear lots of different views and lots of competitive ideas. And then he likes to say, I'm the decider in chief. I'll pick what's best. So what often goes off as chaos, fighting for the presidency or manipulating the president like Rasputin, is often the president enjoying the vibrant policy debate and then driving forward. So I actually think. And this is the problem is anybody who wants Trump to act like anybody except Donald Trump is always going to be disappointed.
Yeah, it's very well said. Jim, we appreciate you always. There's never a shortage of things to discuss with you. So thanks for spending some time with us this afternoon.
Oh, it's such a privilege for the best radio show in the history of radio shows.
I appreciate it. That's very well said. I appreciate it, Jim. We'll talk to you again soon. Oh man. He never parses those compliments. I would say I think he tells all the girls that. All right. When we come back, Chairman Jason Smith is going to be with us, Missouri's 8th District Representative, and he's the chairman of the House Ways and Means Committee. A couple of things to speak with Congressman Smith about. He went to El Salvador. He had conversations with some people in El Salvador prisons, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
They told him things.
Yes. His trip was for trade, but then he also got to visit the prisons.
And he said he would be willing to talk to us about those conversations he had with inmates in the El Salvadoran prison.
Yep.
Let's do that next on the Annie Fry Show. Congressman Jason Smith, next.
Make me cry, oh Lord. If I told you once, I told you 1,000 times.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Michael's Flooring Outlet, easy to find online at igotfloored.com. Oh my gosh, I love the smell and the experience of fresh new carpet. When you walk into a home, maybe it's a new home or fully renovated, that one really fresh smell you get to take in when you walk in the door, it's often the brand new carpeting. Are you looking for that for your home? Have you moved the furniture in your living room where the carpet has been and realized, oh, that's what the carpet is supposed to look like under the furniture that's untouched by all the traffic and life that's being lived on your carpet? You want to contact Michael's Flooring Outlet online at igotfloored.com or in any of their 3 locations that they have here in St. Louis, in Darden Prairie, West County, St. Charles County. Go in and see what they have to offer you. But if you can't get there right away, you go online to igotfloored.com. You can check out all of the different types of flooring that they have. The Mohawk Smart Strand line that they highly recommend. Of course, the superior performance you're going to get with that brand. Michael's understands quality and value, and they are delivering it every day to St. Louisans just like you. In Missouri and Illinois, reach out to Michael's Flooring Outlet online at igotfloored.com.
If you're a supporter of the Second Amendment, you need to be a member of the Reign St. Louis West. Mark Cox here. You know, they get free lanes and free firearm rentals, 5% off firearms and suppressors, 10% off accessories, and 15% off classes. The new benefit on Sundays from 10 to noon, the lanes are for members only. And in April, you get 2 free basic cleanings of a modern firearm. Check them out at 14803 Manchester Road in Baldwin. TheRangeSTL.com.
This could be the #1 tax saving strategy for your retirement savings, and it's hidden inside IRS tax code section 1.408A-4. Discover what it is and how you can make your money go further in retirement in a 3-hour adult education class called Retirement Planning 101. Hey, it's Sue Thomas, and this is a one-night class. It's taught by advisors from financial and tax architects. They have decades of financial planning experience, and they hold these at colleges and libraries throughout St. Louis, and you'll learn about reducing your taxes, maximizing Social Security, paying for health care, and more. And they do it for free, but bring 3 canned goods for a St. Louis Crisis Nursery. There are a few openings left for classes this month, so register now by calling 314-947-2012, 314-947-2012. That's 314-947-2012.
Are you tired of feeling sick and tired? I'm Dr. Nick Barnes of Health From Within Family Chiropractic. Our simple 5-step approach aligns your health naturally. We correct spinal abnormalities to maximize nerve supply, focus on pure and simple nutrition, exercise and oxygen, mindset, and minimizing toxins in your body. Transform your health today with Health From Within, conveniently located on Manchester in Rock Hill, or online at healthfromwithinstl.com.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Listen up, Gen Xers. Elizabeth Banks here. The recommended age for pneumococcal pneumonia vaccination has been lowered to 50 and older, even if you're healthy. It's up to us to lead the way. We've done this before. Music videos, fanny packs, even the World Wide Web. So let's do it again and get vaccinated. We're at over 6 times greater risk for pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults under 50. Gen X, this is our shot. Visit vaxassist.com to schedule. Sponsored by Pfizer.
A message for qualified investors from Noble Gold Investments. If your portfolio is over $250,000 and you aren't hedged, you're sitting on a ticking time bomb. With markets at all-time highs, history tells us what comes next. A 10% allocation into gold and silver can help diversify. Experienced investors know that in times of economic uncertainty, real assets, not paper promises, offer true security. Noble Gold Investments makes it easy to add institutional-grade gold and silver to your portfolio, so you can hedge like the world's smartest investors. For nearly a decade, Noble Gold has helped thousands of Americans protect their future, turning numbers on a screen into real, tangible assets. And right now, when you make a qualified investment, Noble Gold will add a free 10th-ounce gold coin to your order. Disciplined investors protect what they've built. Visit noblegoldinvestments.com today. noblegoldinvestments.com.
Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is proud to support Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Sign your veteran up for the Honor Flight today at gsLHonorFlight.org. And for HVAC services, visit aircomfortservice.com.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on X at Annie Fry Show.
Yeah. All right. Everyone knows all about my direction. And in my heart somewhere, I wanna go there. Still I don't go there. Everybody say something, say something, say something, say something.
How many pressing constitutional issues have been swept aside that American citizens need resolved,
right,
who are being persecuted by left-wing mayors, left-wing governors, left-wing bureaucrats who actually need relief? How many of their concerns have been swept aside so our entire judicial system can spend hour after hour, week after week, month after month scrutinizing every single last detail of a deportation of an invader sent here by a foreign government?
Steve Miller on Newsmax talking about Abrego Garcia. He's been very vocal on this. But one thing he says there that I think is so important is questioning those swept aside issues, the things that our government doesn't seem to be focused on that actually matter in favor of the political storm that gets created by a party in opposition to Donald Trump and a media that looks to subsidize those frustrations with the guy who won the election fair and square. Let's get to our guest. We're speaking with Chairman Jason Smith. He is the 8th District Representative for the state of Missouri in the United States House of Representatives. He's also the chairman of the House Ways and Means Committee. Chairman Smith, thank you for being with us here today. It's always good to have you here.
Great to be with you, Annie. Hope you had a wonderful Easter.
Yes, you as well. We certainly did. I think there's a lot of stuff that I want to talk to you about. The first thing I want to get to before we talk about the big, beautiful bill is your trip to El Salvador, which I understand you went there on a trade mission and you got to visit an El Salvadoran prison. And I was hoping that you could provide us some context of what the Trump administration is trying to do here to make America safe again and what the experience is that you've had in that El Salvadoran prison visiting with some of those inmates.
Of course. Last week I led a group of members on a trade delegation. The Ways and Means Committee is the committee of jurisdiction over all trade policy. And as you've seen in the news, the president's been a little proactive when it comes to trade items. And so we were meeting with the trade ministers of several different countries. One of them was El Salvador. And while we were in El Salvador, in fact, we visited that I wouldn't even call it a prison. It was a terrorism control center. And they took us throughout the entire center. And I'll tell you, we've looked over the last 4 years in the prior administration. They did nothing to secure our southern border or get violent illegals off the streets. And President Trump has done this, and he's done this by working with other countries to be partners. And one is the president of El Salvador. And while we were in that prison, Annie, or that facility, I'll tell you, the warden or the main guard had called 2 different people out by name from the cell. And they came over to us. He had them take off their shirts. And both of them had these MS-13 tattoos. They said that's the gangs that they were part of. And he asked the first one, he's like, where in the United States were you? And that prisoner said, Highland Park, California. How many people have you killed? 6, is what he said. He went to the next person. He's like, where were you at in the United States? That person said, Northern Virginia. How many people did you kill? And he wouldn't answer it. These are the people that were on the streets in the United States of America, and President Trump has taken these people off the streets. They're all El Salvador residents and citizens. They're not U.S. citizens. They're illegals that were violent and harming Americans.
Whew. I mean, to think that they could be sitting there in that not in the place where you were, but still in Highland Park, California, or in Northern Virginia, and just existing. Are those specific people that were deported by Trump?
These are people that were absolutely deported. And so they were in the United States illegally. They were violent criminals in the United States, and they're no longer in the United States, and they're off our streets. So it's definitely what has happened. And I'll tell you, our country will be safer because of that.
Yeah, that's wild to think. I know a lot of it has been made about the tattoos on Abrego Garcia's hands as he was meeting with the senator of Maryland, the Maryland senator meeting the Maryland man who's actually from El Salvador. Those tattoos on his hands. I mean, can you be a part of MS-13? Can you like dabble in MS-13? Like, oh, I was a part of this gang, but now I'm not anymore and I'm clean, and still have those tattoos on your hand?
You absolutely can't. And we saw so many different gang members there, all different gangs. 18th Street, MS-13, you could just go on and on, these international gangs that made El Salvador the deadliest country in the world, and the president of that country, by creating this facility and taking those criminals off their streets, has now made El Salvador the safest country in the world. In fact, there's a lot of folks, El Salvadorians, that are in Washington, D.C., that feel safer in their home country than they do in the city in Washington, D.C.
Chairman Smith, we're here, of course, broadcasting in St. Louis. We serve a bi-state region, the west side of Illinois and, of course, the east side of Missouri. Are these gangs in our listening area right now?
They're everywhere. They're absolutely everywhere. And if you don't think they aren't, that you're mightily fooled. We saw millions of people cross the southern border in the last several years. That's here, and they're all over the place.
Well, while the president is working to fulfill his commitment to make America safer again, of course, the Democrats are pushing heartily back on that in every way that they possibly can. In the meantime, the business of the United States government and the funding of the government has to take place. You are the chairman of the House Ways and Means Committee. Give us the very entry-level view on how DOGE is effectively pulling back money that doesn't need to be spent, but also the progress towards, with a super slim majority of Republicans in the House, the ability of that big, beautiful bill, Donald Trump's one of his number one wishes, to get done. How is that going to take place?
You know, DOGE has been doing a very good job in looking at the inefficiencies in government, the wasteful spending, and helping stop that. Then they've been using basic things as artificial intelligence, AI, to research all of this, and it's amazing. It's amazing some of the waste that they've uncovered. At some points, I'm like, is this actually true? I mean, and then you look deeper and you're like, holy cow. Like, and so there's a lot of ways that we can save money by addressing these efficiencies and wasteful spending. And in fact, that's what we're pushing and we're going to deliver on. But when you look at the one big beautiful bill that the president's talking about, of course, that's in the Ways and Means Committee's jurisdiction. We're preparing. We've been working on this for months, for the moment in time. And over the next several weeks, you're going to see a lot more progress. We're going to deliver on the president's priorities of no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, tax relief for seniors, tax relief for products produced in the United States. These are all things that President Trump has called for, and we're going to deliver on them.
With such a small majority of Republicans, you can't really afford to have any disagreements. Anybody who says, nope, this isn't enough for me. Is this in the House? Are we going to see representatives who can't be satisfied on the Republican side?
I tell all my colleagues, we all have to give and take. We have to deliver for the American people. Failure is not an option. Like you said, we can only lose a handful of people, 3 at the most. We can't lose more than 3 whenever we're voting on this. So we're all going to have to give and take. We're going to have to thread the needle to deliver for the American people. I am thankful so far that all the major tasks at hand, we've stuck together. We've been able to deliver the budget resolution, which is a requirement in order in the first steps to move this big, beautiful bill. We've been able to pass it with only 2 members of the House voting against it. And then we've looked at, just like maintaining funding in government. We did that with solely Republican votes. So we have been standing together. We'll continue to do that on this one big, beautiful bill.
I would think that in the amount of time that you've spent in Congress, there are some times that bills become complicated. A lot of things get thrown in. You support 90% of it. You're going to get hit on the other 10% if you end up being primaried by some Republican who wants to hone in on just that specific thing. So compromise, what did Ronald Reagan say? Like, better to get 80% of something that you want than nothing. And I think that if Republicans were ever going to come together to do so under the umbrella of what Donald Trump promised he would do and the transformative nature of what Donald Trump promised to do, that this would be the time to say, you know what? I'm going to do this under the Donald Trump goal here. And I think that constituents across the country would understand that. Is Trump the true leader on this effort?
Sure. Trump is without a doubt a leader. It's because of President Trump and the 77 million Americans that supported him why we're in position to deliver this bill. It is super important that we deliver on it. If we don't, 207 million taxpayers will face, on average, a 22% increase in their taxes. That alone is a reason why failure is not an option. And of course, the campaign promises that the president made for working class families and small business owners and farmers, we're going to deliver on that. We're also going to deliver in this bill on securing the border, making sure that the adequate resources in protecting our homeland. And we're going to make sure that we eliminate unnecessary regulations that we in this bill.
Congressman Jason Smith with us. Last question before we go. Are there any Republicans who are willing to impose that tax increase on the constituents in their district and across the country more than they're willing to compromise?
I sure hope not. That's going to be tested over the next several weeks. But I can tell you, I'm not going to give up till this is on the president's desk and it's signed into law and it's delivering that certainty and that relief for hardworking Americans who have been struggling over the last 4 years of an inflation crisis of almost 20+%.
Well, we're gonna hold you to that and ask you to come back and talk to us again as soon as you can as the developments continue, because people care about it. We love to see your advocacy and your willingness to see it all the way through. It's what the American people voted for, and we're grateful to have that conversation with you here today. Chairman Smith, thank you for the time.
You can count on it. Look forward to the next time, Annie.
Sounds great. Bye-bye. Chairman Jason Smith, two really interesting conversations there. Specifically, I was very interested in the discussion that he had to be able to walk into what he said was it was like a detention facility, not really a prison so much, and to look at someone, to see their markings that they have placed in their body, to know which gangs that they're involved in. They vocalize it, and then to be like, yeah, I've killed 6 people. We fighting to get those people back? If they were wearing a plaid button-up polo, would that make a difference? It's just the lack of common sense right now. Specifically, I will pinpoint on the activists in the Democratic Party on the left. It doesn't make sense to me. It's not common, and it's really detrimental to the future of the country. And I'm so grateful that Donald Trump is the president and Kamala Harris isn't. Quick break. When we come back, a couple more of your comments on the YouTube live chat poll. Is Trump winning on tariffs? Yes or no? We have to know what you think by voting on the YouTube live chat poll. Come join us there and tell us what you think. You can vote yes or no. Find us at youtube.com/@AnnieFry. We'll be right back.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
If you're looking to save on a beautiful jewelry purchase, look no further than the Diamond Shop. They're in Clayton. Go inside the store. I was talking with a recent customer of theirs, and the story that was relayed to me is they went with somebody, and they were like, there's no way I'm going to be able to afford anything in here. This is going to be out of my league. They went into the shop with a budget in mind, and they left with a purchase that was inside of the budget that they went into the store with. It's nice to be able to put yourself in the hands of people who understand quality, that you don't have to sacrifice quality for value, but you also are going to be educated through the process. If you don't know much about jewelry, but you know you need to make a purchase, they're going to treat you with respect and dignity. They know that if you come in with a budget less than 3 figures, that one day, if you're treated right, you might have a budget for 3 figures or maybe a little bit more. And they're going to earn your trust so that you can go into their shop at any time, be treated with dignity and respect. If you're looking for top tier, absolutely beautiful, budget is not a concern pieces, you're going to find those there as well at the Diamond Shop. And you're going to be stunned at their ability to meet your needs. 30% off all in-stock jewelry throughout the course of the entire month. 40% off all in-stock diamond jewelry to celebrate that April birthstone. Find them online at thediamondshop.net.
It's time to get outside and enjoy the great outdoors. Mark Cox here from my friends at Chesterfield Fence and Deck, where they've got a great deal for you right now. Mention Mark when you call them, and you're going to get 20% off your next outdoor project, and the options are just about limitless. They will help you design your project if you already know what you want in your backyard, or they'll bring a digital photo gallery and let you see maybe what your neighbors have been doing. And then you can go in and you can pick the project that works best for you. Maybe it's a new sunroom. Maybe it is a pergola, a patio, the retaining walls. The list is long. You're going to love working with my friends at Chesterfield Fence and Deck. They are A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. They have financing options available with up to 60 months at 0 interest. And right now, remember, you get that 20% off when you reach out and tell them Mark Cox sent you. All you have to do is go online today to chesterfieldfence.com.
Take me out to my TV, a FanDuel Sports Network. Yeah. Watch me some dingers and RBIs. I'm just glad they have my local team live for its root for the Cardinals on FanDuel Sports Network. Cardinals games, Chip and Brad, the birds on the back. Did I mention they have the Cardinals? Stream now.
Camping season is here, and it's time to get out and love the outdoors, starting with Apache Village RV at our open house in Hazelwood and our newest location in Wentzville. Join us on Friday, May 2nd and Saturday, May 3rd in Hazelwood at 9001 Dunn Road just off Highway 270 and in Wentzville at 971 Wilmer Road just off Highway 70. Apache Village RV has been family-owned for 50 years, helping families create a lifetime of memories. Stop by our open house and check out over 200 new and used RVs from the top manufacturers like Jayco, Keystone, Fleetwood, and Bontrager Outdoors. Financing available with camper payments as low as $160 per month with approved credit. We will have raffles for prizes at both locations, huge RV savings, food, and drinks. Mention this ad and that you heard it on 97.1, and you can enter for a chance to win $500 to our parts store. Apache Village RVs. Commitment to you starts when you enter the door. Go one better. Go Apache Village RV.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how linking to the market is much safer than owning the market for your retirement savings. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go to retirementkey.com.
The YouTube live chat poll today, the question for you is Trump winning on tariffs? Yes or no? We took calls on this. We'd like to hear from you in the chat. So you find that by typing in Annie Fry on YouTube. And today's date, along with the live stream, comes up. That's where you can comment and vote. And you can also watch the show there. It is 1:45. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Hey, it's Mark Cox. I'll be at the Busch Brewery in Washington, Missouri for The Purpose of Politics, hosted by TPUSA Washington. Join us Tuesday, April 29th for a panel discussion. Learn more at 971talk.com/events.
Yeah, y'all know what it is. Katy Perry.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on X at Annie Fry Show.
You're gonna come to me, here you are, but you better choose carefully. 'Cause I'm capable of anything, and everything. Make me your Aphrodite, make me your one and only. Don't make me your enemy.
You want to tell a story about Brad getting a haircut?
Well, I don't have the story. I just thought when Brad was telling me it was very good. And it was very true because I went to get a haircut a couple weeks ago, and mine's short enough that I can cut mine at home usually, but I'm not very good at getting my neck.
You cut your own hair?
I do.
We can tell.
But
how do
yeah, you just take the shaver. It's like all one length. It doesn't matter.
Why don't you just shave your head?
I kind of do. I mean,
yeah, he does, doesn't he?
I don't shave it, but it's pretty short.
Can I see your hair?
I don't know. I'll think about it. But I every night, like once a month or once every 6 weeks, I still go to get my hair cut because I want it all like professionally trimmed
Do you
up.
let the barber do your eyebrows? Yes or no, Brian?
If they do it, I'm fine with it. I don't know that
Have they?
They used to. I don't think
I'm getting a little thin up there.
my eyebrows are.
Your eyebrows look fine. I didn't know if you did anything to them.
No.
Brad?
Yeah, if they ask.
Are they like, can I do something about these brows?
It's awkward.
It
Like,
is
can I
exactly like
touch
that.
this?
What
here?
about your ears?
I'm fine with it if they do
Inside.
it. Yeah, go for it.
Do they?
I don't go often enough. I
You're
don't
there.
know.
But if you're only going every X amount of weeks,
I don't think they do.
have you ever had them trim up the inside of your ears?
I think so.
Brad?
Yes.
No, never the inside, just that outside.
Nose?
No. Never knows.
Bikini?
Yeah, I'm fine. Again, if they ask, they're like, I'm getting a little close here. I'm like, you go for it, girl.
The inside of the ears is the gateway drug to the, how about a bikini wax?
Right.
Have you ever had anything waxed? Anything ever?
Yeah, I used to get just the center of my
Yeah.
eyebrows waxed.
Good for you.
Used to.
I commend that.
I'm too lazy to do it anymore.
Well, if you don't need to do it, you don't need
It's just a little bit.
Yeah, but if you saw it, if it stuck out at you when you were looking in the mirror, you would do something about it, right?
Yeah.
What about you, Brad?
I don't think that I have. I can't remember getting waxed on anything.
You'd remember.
Yeah, then no.
What's your
You?
Heck yeah.
You want to tell about it or?
No, none of your business.
Well, you asked us.
Yeah, but you just answered. You could have said no.
I got to remember that I can say none of your business more.
Yeah, you should. You really should. Although that would really limit your contributions to the show.
Yeah, it would.
I kind of count on you
Yeah.
having Zero boundaries.
Let's talk about something controversial. Ryan, why don't you tell about the first time you... No.
You really pedal on this show in regret.
Oh, yeah.
So sweet that we get a lot of room out of that. Well, what's the story? You said there was an important story that needed to be told.
I'm setting it up because once every 6 weeks, I will still go get my haircut. And there's one place in Collinsville I usually call, but if they're full, I'll try to get just the random Supercuts or wherever. But they all now require, even the local ones, they all require an appointment. You used to be able to just walk into a barber, and maybe this is COVID, or maybe I'm just
Is it
living
an
in
online appointment too?
A bygone era, but you have to go online. You have to put your name in, or else you're at the mercy of hoping nobody
Whoever
else comes
else is in line.
Yeah, and
Other people who made appointments.
other people who also went online because you were just a walk-in. You get lowest priority, and it drives me crazy because it's so hard to figure out. Okay, I'm leaving work now or wherever,
What
and
if
I'm going to be there in 20 minutes.
What if you, upon approaching your vehicle to get into it, to drive to get your haircut, you made an appointment?
You can do that as long as the.
Now, I know that people can do it. I'm talking about you.
Oh, that's what I do.
You do that now.
But the problem is sometimes the appointments are 45 minutes away and you're 15 minutes from the place.
Can't you make an appointment for ahead of time?
You
Go
can.
show up and be like, I'm here and check in and get in early. That's the safe bet.
Maybe the way to do it is to say, I know I'll be there by at least, let's say 4:45. So you make the appointment for that moment and then you just leave at the time that it would get you there at that time. That's the easiest way to do it. But it's this whole process now to just get a haircut.
Well, the thing about it is like for me, Ryan said once every 6 weeks. I tried to go and I had it set up with a rotating appointment once every 2 weeks to go get a haircut. But the problem is you always run into this because I got one day that I can make it there a week. That's when the haircut will go. And there's always something that comes up on a Saturday. So if you miss it, then it's 4 weeks. And then if you miss that one, then it's 6 weeks. And you can't, like, my schedule isn't stable enough to say, hey, I know that I'm going to be in this place at this point every 2 weeks.
But
for
Brad,
a haircut,
I
left work yesterday at 4:30 and got to the place to get my haircut. They didn't have an appointment. I just thought it's Easter Monday. This won't be busy because
Easter Monday.
Yeah, wild.
I don't know why you call it that,
but I thought everybody got their haircuts done before Easter. I went to Easter looking like a shaggy dog. It'll be fine.
Everybody went without getting their haircut, got shamed by their mom and grandma, and now has to go get a haircut so they can see their parents.
Apparently that's what happened because I got there and it was a 103-minute wait for a haircut at like 5 p.m.
And then here's what I love. Brad gave them the business.
No, I didn't give them the business, but I
For what? For having a 103-minute wait?
They're like 103-minute wait. Do you just want to check in? And because the way it works is it's not appointments. You check in and then you're in line.
Yeah.
It's a virtual queue. So it's not actually like if you show up at this time, you'll get an appointment. So it's just you're at the mercy of whatever happens. And if 3 people in front of you in line cancel and you're driving on the road there and then you're not there in time, your appointment goes out the window.
Go to a different hair place.
Well, that's what I'm trying to find one that
was
isn't
his
like
place,
this.
though.
You gave them the business?
Well, I walked in and they're like, well, do you want to make an appointment or check in online and then come back? And I'm like, no,
I'm here
now. I would like you to have maybe a spot each day for a walk-in.
Yeah.
just a walk-in because emergencies happen. You know, people need haircuts and things that,
emergency.
Hold on.
It didn't used to be,
no. If you were Ryan, I'd push back on this point.
You gonna do it anyway?
Heck yeah.
Okay.
You don't have a haircut emergency. You don't need your haircut more on Monday than you did on Sunday. You got to have don't dudes have like a 2-week window of going, I need to get a haircut.
I'm going
2 weeks is quite a bit.
I'm going on 6 right now.
10 days.
I give it a week. 10 days and your feet you get in your head about it. That's the problem. Is you go, dang it, I look so weird or whatever.
But I mean, haircut emergency.
My point is this: not everybody's schedule works out to where they can plan it out, and you should have walk-ins at least available.
What do you do if you're a doctor?
I don't know what you do if you're a doctor. Like
But-
my doctor.
No, not you. Your doctor.
But you don't have to go to the doctor once every 4 weeks.
My doctor's appointments are planned out 6 months in advance.
You can't find a hair place that will let you wait. You don't want to make appointments?
At this point, no, not anymore.
No, wait. We're missing the point of the story here, because there's something that he said that I said we've got to talk about.
Well, that's just it. So after I said that, and she's like, "Well, you can make an appointment on the app," and I'm like, "You want me to get an app so that I can make an appointment to get a haircut?"
Thank you.
That's their business model. Yes.
Thank you.
What's wrong with that?
That's dumb.
I don't want to
then go
download
somewhere else.
every business's app in the entire world just to get a haircut.
Well, that's fine. You don't have to. You have to wait 103 minutes if you want to walk in. Though.
That's what I'm saying.
You get to do one or the other.
It's not good. I don't like it.
Well, I did leave. So I'm trying to find someplace else.
He did leave. So,
but it's a joke to me that almost, I would say 99% of the haircut places out there, you have to have an appointment to get a haircut. And it wasn't like that before COVID. And now it is. They got it in their brain that you got to make a haircut appointment. Otherwise you don't get a haircut. And
it's wild to me to think that you wouldn't.
It's so
tie together haircuts and appointments.
Oh, no.
It didn't used to be like that.
No, it didn't used to be like that. Not for guys. I don't know. Maybe it was for girls because it maybe takes longer. Is that right?
Well, I only ever get my hair cut every 4 years, and you were a part of that. So,
yeah. Well, we made an appointment to do that, I guess, in a sense. We had to get to a certain number of Facebook or YouTube followers.
No, we raised money.
We raised money. That's right. That's a good cause.
We raised, yeah. Thank you.
That's a good cause.
That's a good job we did.
Wait, so just to get to the bottom of this, your beef is that you have to make an appointment to get a haircut.
My beef is that they want me to download an app to make an appointment to get a haircut.
Can't you go online and do it?
No,
I don't know.
I've actually tried it.
I don't know about that.
And it's like I
on
said,
the break, I want to know this place.
It's a virtual queue.
I'm gonna call him and give him the business, just like Brad.
And make an appointment for Brad while you're on the phone.
to check with his people.
I have to make an appointment
today
for my coworker to get a haircut.
I've got a haircut emergency. You know who had a haircut emergency? This girl. You know who made an appointment ahead of time because I knew that the haircut was going to be an emergency? This girl. That's what you have to do.
Let's not lose the fact here that Annie said that there is such thing as a haircut emergency.
Ooh,
yeah,
that's a good point.
Well, why don't you let Ryan cut your hair and then you can go in and look and be like, this is an emergency.
No, I have nothing to do with this fight.
You know what?
It's just you two.
I would let Ryan cut my hair. We just need to find the right reason.
I think Brad, what he's missing out on here is that every single time he gets his haircut, he's not raising money for charity.
Yeah, what's
wrong with
selfish? Is there anybody out there who can solve a haircut emergency for me? Message me on the Annie Fry Show Facebook. It's an emergency. We'll be right back.
Men, are you just not feeling it? Could be your testosterone. U.S. Men's Medical Center in St. Peter's helps men experiencing loss of energy, focus, concentration, and low libido. Check out the testimonials at usmensmedicalcenter.com. Patients are excited about feeling great, having energy, improved libido. Plus, they love the staff and the fact that they accept all insurance, including Medicare. Spring's coming. Enjoy it. Call U.S. Men's Medical Center at 636-244-5333. usmensmedicalcenter.com.
We, without hesitation, recommend that anybody work with ThrottleNet. The experience will be as good as it's been for us, for anybody, because you'll get a true partnership and you'll be able to rest easy that you're going to get the service that you need while they're also doing all those things that you don't want to have to think about, that you don't want to have to worry about. They're always doing that in the background for you.
Don't wait for your next IT crisis. If your business depends on technology, you need a partner that's got your back. Contact ThrottleNet.com to get a free IT evaluation and see how we can support your IT everything.
So let's talk about saving money. Let's talk about Ruler Foods. Let's talk about how when you shop Ruler Foods, I always list for you the different things you can save money on right now because there's extra savings. But by virtue of shopping in Ruler Foods, your cart, you're going to be able to fill it for less. They have the name brands that you love. They have the products they're used to buying at the other stores. They have those brands, but they also carry Kroger brands at Ruler Foods prices. And they are offering big savings right now on one fresh pound of strawberries, just $1.99 each. You can save on juicy pineapple as well for $1.69. I want you to make sure that you understand how they carry all of the things, like I said, the name brands that you love, like Pepsi, Mountain Dew, Coke, or A&W root beer. 4 for just $17 when you buy 4. I don't actually need root beer right now. You can also have all of these savings delivered directly to your door. Just go on to rulerfoods.com and find the one closest to you and schedule that delivery right to have those savings on your doorstep. rulerfoods.com.
Experience the exhilarating atmosphere of a Cardinals game. Join the sea of red in the wave around the stadium. Feel the rush of excitement as a home run lights up the sky with fireworks, bringing the whole ballpark to their feet. Nothing beats the thrill of watching the Cards get the W with the final out at the plate. It's more than a game, it's an experience. Visit Cardinals.com for tickets and info. St. Louis Cardinals for the Lou.
There is no better way to enjoy America's favorite pastime than cheering on the Cardinals with your family at Busch Stadium. From the thrill of watching the game to the kid-friendly activities, food, and fun, the ballpark has it all. Make magical memories as you cheer together for every home run, double play, and Cards win. Your family's summer tradition starts here at Busch Stadium. Grab your tickets today at Cardinals.com. St. Louis Cardinals for the Lou.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
Litigating the curriculum. I'm John Saucier, Fox News. The U.S. Supreme Court considering a Maryland school district's policy over curriculum opt-outs for religious parents. Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House to explain.
Montgomery County, Maryland public school parents say they have a religious right to opt out students from storybooks about LGBTQ plus issues.
There is a burden that it was imposed with animosity and that it's discriminating against our clients because of their religious beliefs.
Eric Baxter says his clients object only to those books being read in the classroom. Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson asked how far opt-outs should go.
What if we have a teacher who is gay and has a photo of a wedding on her desk? Is a parent able, or could they opt out of having their student be in that classroom?
The school district says opt-outs are disruptive to the classroom. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
Harvard University is suing the Trump administration after the federal funding was frozen. The school calls the freeze on $2 billion in grants unlawful and beyond the government's authority. Fox's Eric Shawn has more.
The Trump administration accuses Harvard and other universities of violating student civil rights by not doing enough to combat anti-Semitism and promoting liberal policies in the classroom. But Harvard President Alan Garber brands the move illegal, saying cutting funds will harm vital health research into cancer and other diseases. The Harvard lawsuit reads in part, quote, "The government has, with little warning and even less explanation, slashed billions of dollars in federal funding to universities across America. This case involves the government's efforts to use the withholding of federal funding as leverage to gain control of academic decision-making at Harvard."
And the Trump administration trying to figure out ways to get more Americans married and having kids, including a $5,000 baby bonus for every new mom after delivery. America's listening to Fox News.
Listen up, Gen Xers. Elizabeth Banks here. The recommended age for pneumococcal pneumonia vaccination has been lowered to 50 and older, even if you're healthy. It's up to us to lead the way. We've done this before. Music videos, fanny packs, even the World Wide Web. So let's do it again and get vaccinated. We're at over 6 times greater risk for pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults under 50. Gen X, this is our shot. Visit vaxassist.com to schedule. Sponsored by Pfizer.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. That does give us certain advantages, for example, in focus and resources. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Cordell & Cordell, a partner you can count on.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis. CordellCordell.com.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Temperatures are warmer compared to yesterday. The south wind is back 80 degrees. Lots of sunshine, above average temperatures. Tonight, clear skies, a delightful evening with temperatures in the 70s, dropping through the 70s, 56. Partly sunny on Wednesday, maybe a spot shower. Don't worry about it. 80. Some scattered showers and thunderstorms Thursday with an increase in that activity Friday. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Farming's hard. To feed the world, farmers have to work the land, brave the elements, and fight the battle against weeds. Weeds reduce crop yields, so prices go up and everybody gets less to eat. But 50 years ago, farmers got a new tool to fight weeds, glyphosate. It kills weeds while protecting the harvest. Time and again, it has been approved by the EPA and by leading regulatory bodies around the world. It helps enable practices that reduce erosion and keep soil healthy, which is good for the earth. Farming's hard, but it's a little easier with glyphosate. Learn more at go.bayer.com/glyphosate, paid for by Bayer.
And a lot of people, when they come in, they'll say, I'm usually much more active, but since I've been in pain, I've had to limit the activities I'm doing.
You're listening to Janelle, an arch support specialist at the Good Feet store.
So he came in and he wanted to be able to keep up, play sports with his kids. And from there, we figure out which arch supports complement those activities. I fit him with the arch supports. And as I followed up with him, he's messaged me and said, I took my kids to the park today. We're walking, we're exercising, riding the bikes. And those are all things that he wasn't doing before because he was in pain.
For over 25 years, the Good Feet store's arch support specialists have been helping folks to live the life they love without foot, knee, hip, or back pain getting in the way.
Our goal is to have that long-term change for them. That's what's most important, is knowing that you leave an impact on someone's life. And I like that.
Try them for yourself. Stop in for a free personalized fitting and test walk at the Good Feet store.
Visit one of our 2 locations, Creve Coeur and Shiloh, Illinois, and at goodfeet.com.
Well, if you're like me and you enjoy wine, especially quality wine, you have to try the delicious wines from Stonehill Winery. This winery, if you've never been there, it's in Hermann, Missouri, so it's local, been around since 1847. Listen to this. Stonehill's Cross J. Norton wine beat out 235 other wines in a Missouri wine competition this year and ended up winning the Governor's Cup. Stonehill is Missouri's oldest and now most awarded winery. The winery itself, this is really cool. It has the largest series of underground vaulted cellars in North America. So what's cool is if you get a chance to go to Hermann, you can stop into Stonehill Winery and take a tour. Really cool. They do all kinds of events there, weddings. Think about how cool that would be. I got to try some of Stonehill's Ozark Hellbender the other night. It's a dry red wine and it's fantastic. Actually, listen to the description of this wine, okay? Aromas of sweet cherry, blueberry pie smeared with a plum compote and drizzled with cinnamon sticks and toasted oak goodness. You can find Stonehill wines at virtually any retail store here in Missouri, brought to you by our friends at Lore Wine and Spirits.
When you're trying to find quality candidates, all the searching, screening, and interviewing can become a job itself. You need Indeed, the all-in-one platform that makes it easy to interview, screen, and hire quality people. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
Right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Well, I have an update here from someone who knows a little bit more about Brad's haircut situation and a little bit of reaction there. We're going to get to that here in a second. Before we do that, you might have heard that for my birthday, Brad hustled and got us, the show, and me specifically, a White House press pass. I am very excited about this. We're working out the details and we will give them to you as soon as they are finalized. And also in that same vein, it's important that I acknowledge everybody on the show. And I remind you that Ryan gave me a variety pack of root beer.
Well, it wasn't a variety pack of root beer. It was a variety pack that
with
had
root
beer.
Yeah, that's true.
And other
right.
Orange cream soda in there.
Cream soda. I forgot to bring in the peanut butter juice today.
Yeah, you forgot everything, didn't you?
Not everything.
You forgot the salami cheese sandwiches.
Yeah, I think that's going to be. I think that's happening this week.
Okay, good.
But in the effort of getting everything lined up to go to the White House, I have no idea if I am going to be a fly on the wall in the back of the press pool. I don't know if I'm going to be in a position to ask a question. You have to, I think we've all thought about this since we've talked about the opportunity that, like, upon Trump's inauguration and the Carolyn Leavitt way of doing things with the press pool, they've changed the game. So you got to ask yourself, if I had the opportunity to ask one question at a press briefing, what would I ask? So I've been thinking about that a lot. Tim Pool was just the person in the hot seat, the featured non-traditional media voice. And listen to what he did with this opportunity.
Many of the news organizations that are represented in this room have marched in lockstep on false narratives, such as the Very Fine People hoax, the Covington smear, and now what's being called the Maryland Man hoax, where an MS-13 gang member adjudicated by 2 different judges, I believe, is just simply being referred to as a Maryland Man over and over again. Now, in an effort from the White House to expand access to new companies, you've created this new media seat. So I'm wondering if you can comment on, following this expansion, you've had numerous outlets disparage the companies that you've had sit here, as well as the reporters. I'm wondering if you can comment on that unprofessional behavior, as well as elaborate if there's any plans to expand access to new companies.
Sure. Well, we certainly welcome diverse viewpoints in this room, which is one of the reasons we have you in here. And there's many new faces in this room in comparison to the previous administrations. We want to welcome all viewpoints into this room. We welcome unbiased journalists who really care about the truth and the facts and the accuracy. And you rightfully pointed out the Maryland Man story, which I, from this podium, when The Atlantic published it on that very first day, I came to this podium and said, this is wrong. The press in this room have this story wrong. And we have seen more and more evidence come to the table that we have had all along. We were always right. The president was always on the right side of this issue to deport this illegal criminal from our community. And it is despicable to see the media continue to refer to this individual as someone who is just a peaceful man living his life in Maryland. This was and always has been an illegal criminal, an MS-13 gang member, and a designated foreign terrorist. And the administration maintains our position to deport these individuals from our community.
So there's Tim Pool. Gets his one shot for now at least, to sit in the hot seat, which is like up in the front, but off to the side. And he gets to ask the question. And he's like, let's talk about the fools in this room. Should I follow his lead?
Yeah, 100%.
You think so?
Yeah. I think you should ask them questions that are so leading that Carolyn Levitt doesn't even really have to answer them. Like why, and call out names. Like, why is Caitlin Collins even here?
During the whole process there, as Tim Pool was talking, she is very actively doing her own business on the side, head down, writing things down on a notepad or something like that, but completely disengaged and disinterested in what Tim Pool has to say. I don't know why.
I don't either. You should come up with questions like that are just super leading, and then also throw some real curveballs. Like, get a few in.
I think you're overestimating the amount of time and opportunity I'm going to have here, but
before she finishes the answer, start asking the next question so that she can't interrupt you, and then say, "How tall is Mark McGuire's son?" You know, like this stuff that there's no way it's going to be in her book. Just see how it goes. No. Can I go?
No. No, not on behalf of this show. Your birthday's coming up in August.
Wiggins, Mark Cox Morning Show.
The only way that you go is Gary Vood, which we're trying to find. We should explain Gary Vood here because Gary Vood might get a little extra play in the next couple weeks.
Gary Vood originated by me accidentally switching the first letters of very and good.
But you were doing like an old-timey 20s reporter. Like,
yeah.
We were talking one day on the openness, the Carolyn Levitt press room was going to have a new openness that anybody, and she even said that one time that we want local radio hosts to apply to this position. And we were all like, gosh, dang it. We have to now. Like, we're not going to get it, but if they said it, we have to put our name in the hat. And so then I think you were giving me advice. If I were to get selected, you were giving me advice on how to do it, but you were doing it as if you were like a 1920s newspaper reporter.
Yeah, which I still believe in.
And you were going so fast with it that you said very good, but you said Gary Vood. So we named that reporter character that Ryan will go into at random, Gary Vood. And his tagline is, "What a scoop."
Yeah, no matter what they say, what a scoop.
If I fall through here and you get to take over the show, you have, if I die, you have to apply for the press pool
Oh yeah,
as Gary Vood in my memory.
as Gary Vood.
As Gary Vood.
Okay.
Yes. You need a little hat
Okay.
and it needs to have
Yeah, the
a
little
piece
feather.
of paper sticking out of the top or
Yep.
whatever it is.
Yep.
It
Little
says
ticker
press.
tape. Yep. Yeah, I'll do that, and I will ask all the questions that you're afraid to, as Gary Vood.
Which is all the questions you would ask. They just coincide. That's not a Venn diagram. That is a simple circle.
Why are they getting rid of some of my favorite flavors, like red dye number 6?
5.
Is number 6 on the chopping block? Carolyn, what do you have to say? What a scoop. They're like, get out of here. I'm like, 23 skidoo. And I do the old like, woo. My arms are up and I'm out of there. Pew.
I feel like you have like a Ticonderoga number 2 pencil, but like one of the large ones.
A big pencil.
That you write with chalk in your yard.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Let me take this down. Can't you just record it? No, ma'am. Got to write with my giant pencil. This is 97.1.
You're so
The Annie
weird.
Fry Show.
Maybe go on behalf of another station.
No,
Just
thank
don't
you.
tell until you get there.
No.
Don't tell the people back home.
Does that guy actually work at a radio station? Why wouldn't he record
You're like
anything?
You're like Milton from Office Space.
How did that guy get in here?
I don't know. We keep firing him. We won't leave. He took my stapler.
We always tell him to leave, and I remember him leaving because he yells 23 skidoo every time. But he's still in here every day.
23 Does that mean something?
I have no idea. This is an old timey thing.
Is it?
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah.
From then? Brad, you want to hear an update on a listener comment on your hair
All
situation? Sounds like a no.
All right.
Hey, let me have it.
This is from Balls.
Yeah.
Did you still want to hear it?
Yeah.
I go to the place Brad is talking about.
Not the same place.
I use the app and walk right in and get in the chair. He is being dramatic. It is very easy.
I don't want to use an app to get a haircut. That's ridiculous. Because it's a haircut. That's ridiculous.
It's a weird hill to die on when everything is on an app and your hair is still growing.
Man, I am with Brad.
I understand.
I don't want more apps.
I understand the stat. Ethan just said he found the original Gary Vood. That a kid.
All right.
I understand not loving app world because we live in it. Name some apps that you have. I'll go first while we're looking through these. What kind of stupid apps do I have on my phone?
McDonald's, Arby's, DQ. There's 3. Scooters. But I'll take
AMC
these because
Theaters,
I like using the product.
American Airlines, the Odyssey app.
Airbnb.
My bank.
Apple Music. I've never used.
Casey's. I get Casey's rewards. Chick-fil-A.
Sam's Club. Why do I even have that? I don't have a membership there. Delete it. Gone.
I have a JBL app for headphones.
Do you use it?
No, my headphones work without it.
Edible arrangements.
Here's another one. Airline. Every single airline that you fly is like, why don't you just get our app? So
You have to have the app.
I have Spirit Airlines on here. I flew them one time.
Well,
ever.
then delete it afterwards. They have what
But
they
what
need
if
from
I
you.
fly it again?
Then you could download it again.
I don't want to do it again.
Well, then don't delete it and stop complaining.
Oh, here's one.
What is the alternative to
It's
having
to
an app?
have less apps. That's the alternative.
Why?
Because then the ones that you want to use, you can find easier.
You
There's too
sound
many of them.
like the oldest of old men.
So I have
I'm also correct.
Like even in like sporting events, I have the Ballpark app, but also you need to have the Ballpark app to get tickets, but you also have the Cardinals app so you can get updates on the game because the Ballpark app and the Cardinals app do different things, but
Yeah.
they're both Major League Baseball.
But they have different functions.
They have different functions, but they could all be integrated into one app.
But that's like saying that the Cardinals brand wouldn't have any more to offer than what it would be limited to with the MLB app.
I have
From a consumer
no,
standpoint, though.
because the Cardinals app is the Major League Baseball app.
Yeah.
It's the same app. It's the same
Apparently not.
organization putting it
The
together.
consumer is going, I just want to check everything related to my favorite baseball team in one spot. And you can't do it.
I've got a SeatGeek app plus the Blues app that is powered by SeatGeek, so you can have Blues tickets.
I do too.
Oh,
there's a United app because I flew them once. You know what I do like though?
Amsoil
Shazam.
app.
I like Shazam. I'm
The
gonna
movie?
keep that one. Yeah, the movie.
I have a metronome.
It's a good movie.
Have you seen it?
I don't think so.
Is that the one with Shaq?
I think that's the one we can't remember if it was Sinbad or Shaq. Because it's part of the Mandela effect. Let's look it up. You're going to find Mandela effect articles is what you're going to find. Who is it?
It gave me the app.
See?
Shazam is with Zachary Levi.
This says it. That's the new movie.
There was also a Shazam with Shaq.
Yes.
The non-existent film Shazam was purported to have starred Sinbad as a genie. Imagine if you woke up this morning and Disney's Bug's Life did not exist. It didn't. Shazam didn't exist.
It's Kazam.
Yeah.
It's Kazam with Shaq. And he's a genie. And he is the biggest star in that movie. I'm looking at all these people. And I have never heard them.
Literally?
Literally.
I think that if you want to like whine and moan about app world, that's just going to be an unresolved life problem.
100%. Yeah, but I'm going to continue to yell about it.
Same. It's dumb.
It's not dumb.
We've said this before.
It's smart business on their part.
We've said this before, though, that my kids' sports, I have a kid in this sport and this sport and this sport.
GroupMe,
every
Game
single
Changer.
one of them requires a different app. If you could consolidate all of my kids' sports into one app for my one calendar, that would be tremendous because I can't remember which one's which.
But they're different companies.
They are different companies, but as far as usability goes, it's annoying.
But those companies need to offer a better product to win over the competition and be better companies, be better product, right?
Either that or everybody in the different leagues needs to decide, actually, they're all basically doing the same thing. Let's just all use this one.
Well, why do we have Wendy's and McDonald's and Burger King? They're all burger joints. We should just go to one place and get one burger.
Well, that would be fine.
You're okay with that? If
that's possible, I would love to have like one super fast food app that just shows you everything.
I'm talking about apps. I'm talking about products.
That's a business waiting to happen right there. Somebody who can consolidate your apps into one. Ethan, can you make that and then I get the money?
No, that's just more apps. That's an app for apps. You're creating a worse problem.
You say that like it's ridiculous, but that's next.
Darn right it is.
How does that work?
I don't know.
So
I'm not a techie.
You just have one button on your phone and you click it and then it opens up all the apps that you have.
No.
That's what it already is.
It would be categorized. It would be all the sports are in one.
Just create a folder.
And then all the food is in one.
Folder.
And then everything you need about your hair.
Yeah, you could totally do that on an iPhone, right?
No,
Ethan,
I want it in an app, though.
Ethan.
I don't want it in a folder.
Is this a real problem?
I'll see if we can get Gary Vogt on it.
That's a good answer.
When we come back, we'll see if we can get Gary Vogt on it. Let us know in the YouTube live chat poll. Is Trump winning on tariffs? Yes or no? We want to know what you think. You can vote by going to youtube.com/@AnnieFry. I don't know. Open your app and vote. It's that simple. Not you, though. You guys just stay right where you are. I need to keep you in a good mental place for the rest of the show.
We're already mad.
You guys okay?
We're going to be yelling about everything.
Hey,
Is Trump winning on tariffs? No.
I don't traditionally ask you to go fetch drinks, but can you go get some Ensure in the room for me real quick?
Ensure?
I don't like that one. It upsets my belly.
I'm going to take the edge off.
Need to calm him down.
We'll be right back.
Scared to die. We ain't perfect, but we try. Get along.
This is the Annie Fry Show. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Drink a beer, sing a song, make a friend. Can't we all get along?
Well, apparently not. That's pretty much that. The Retirement Advisory Group, retirementkey.com. Your retirement is upon you. You're at that stage of life where you are really looking forward to retiring, and you want to make sure that you've got the goods, that all the effort you've put into your retirement isn't going to go poof, gone when the market has a downturn. It's possible. You know that's possible. How do you keep yourself protected from that? It starts with a phone call to Retirement Advisory Group. 314-993-9494. Reach out to Bob and Tammy Kershaw and to Thomas Helbig at the Retirement Advisory Group and learn how they can help you. The first initial call, you're going to sit down and learn about them. They're going to learn about you. That's free. It costs you nothing. You can make an educated decision if it's the right thing for you and you're nearing retirement after that discussion. 314-993-9494 is the number to call, and they are waiting for you to reach out to them. Tell them Annie Fry Show sent you, and you can learn all about what I've said so far and everything else that they do by visiting them online. Just check out retirementkey.com.
Step outside and fall in love with your backyard again. From inviting porch overhangs to durable composite decks and cozy screen rooms, Lakeside Renovation and Design creates stunning outdoor living spaces designed for relaxation, entertaining, and making memories. With expert craftsmanship and top-quality materials, your new outdoor oasis will be perfect for every season. Call Lakeside Renovation and Design today or visit lakesiderd.com to get started. Let's turn your backyard into the retreat you've always dreamed of.
I'm Dr. Nick Barnes at Health From Within Family Chiropractic in Rock Hill. At Health From Within, our mission is to transform the way you manage your health by bringing you the truth about health and healing. We use proven techniques to remove interference in the nervous system and maximize health naturally, without drugs or surgery. Connect with me at healthfromwithinstl.com and join me for Maximize Living on this station every Sunday at 8 a.m. or download the Maximize Living podcast, healthfromwithinstl.com.
Hey, Jimmy Fallon here with a quick listening tip for you. If you miss Fox Across America or any of your other Fox News favorites, do not worry. I got you covered. You can stream previously aired shows with Rewind, available exclusively on the free Odyssey app. So if you're busy work days, it doesn't mean you have to miss out on the news. Listen to your Fox shows on your time with Odyssey. To get started, just download the free Odyssey app and search for Fox News Radio. That's Odyssey, Audacy. I'm spelling it out in case you're a little slow like me.
You want to retire soon, but everyone keeps telling you to wait until you're 65. After all, that's the age that you qualify for Medicare and you're close to full retirement age. I'm Marvin Mitchell, president of Compass Retirement Solutions. In my new book, Retire Early, The 9 Critical Decisions When Retiring Before 65, I discuss proper planning to help make early retirement possible. When to take Social Security, what to do with your 401k, healthcare, how to maximize retirement income, and much more. Get a complimentary copy of Retire Early by calling 1-800-743-8510. That's 1-800-743-8510. Can you retire early? Call 1-800-743-8510 for your copy of Retire Early, The 9 Critical Decisions When Retiring Before 65.
Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois. Compass Retirement Solutions is not affiliated with the U.S. government or any governmental agency.
I love the way he articulates things together, examples with all his stage members up there at all different levels, which is wonderful to see and inspiring.
That's Orlando on his Expo experience. It's coming again. Join Del Walmsley and Lifestyles Unlimited for Expo 2025, May 7th through the 10th in Irving, Texas. Get hands-on training from successful real estate investors and learn proven strategies that work. Find out more and save $100 when you text Expo to 88007, EXPO to 88007.
For details and a list of all station contest rules, visit www.971talk.com/rules.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Time to schedule your air conditioner service. Get your entire HVAC system checked for $19 a month with the preferred partner plan and be ready for the first heat wave. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on X at Annie Fry Show.
Now, come with me now.
All right. It's in the drive, as we just said.
Who said that?
Gary Wood. The YouTube live chat poll is Trump winning on tariffs, yes or no? Come to the Annie Fry YouTube channel and leave a vote, leave a comment as to what you feel about that. I'm going to read here real quick. Doug says, not sure on how to assess winning at this point. The immediate results haven't been great, and the quote winning is something that'll take time to realize. I voted no. Come tell us what you think, because the issue is definitely an important one that is affecting lots of people. We've got 233 votes on it right now. Let's see how many we can get by the end of the show. We'd love for you to join us there. We were talking about Gary Vood. And how would you summarize Gary Vood? In your mind, you've created him.
The character, or how we came up with it? The character is probably a Depression era reporter.
Just trying to get to the bottom
beat
of it.
reporter, right?
Beat reporter.
23 Skidoo?
He's out there just walking around trying to find the scoop. Where's the scoop at?
Would you say that there is an area of the country that he originates from, like based off the accent?
No. Nope.
Okay. He's everybody.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, he sounds like he's got a mid-Atlantic accent.
Well, Ethan found the original development of Gary Vood, and we thought to bring you into the background of the joke, let's play it for you right here. Annie Fry Show member should we send to be in the White House press corps? Who would you want to see?
I would lobby heavily for that.
Who would you send?
What?
Who would you send?
Me.
Okay.
I would also send Ryan.
Yeah.
I said, I think it would be close between Ryan and me, and the more you listen to the show, the more likely you are to pick Ryan.
Yeah. I'd wave real hard every time. Carolyn. And I'd be like,
Hi.
is that a podium or a lectern?
No. A podium. That's exactly what you would say.
A podium instead of
Might
a
accidentally
podium.
leave your name off that.
That one really got you.
Whoops.
Podium. That's probably like discriminatory in some way.
Is that a podium? No, sir. This is a podium. All
Of
right. And then
of those two options, I'm going to go with lectern.
furious scribbling in my notes, like, oh, it's a podium. Oh, I gotcha. Okay.
Very good. Very good. Very good.
Right. Very much.
Will you just go on behalf of the Mark Cox Show?
Yeah. Ryan Wiggins, Mark Cox Show.
If you're going to ask a good question,
Is that a
put the
podium?
Annie Fry Show shirt on. If you're asking about podiums, Mark Cox Morning Show here.
Is that a lectern?
Lectern.
What is that?
Just pronounce words wrong constantly, but make the question sound somewhat smart.
Gary Vood. Gary Vood.
Gary Vood.
Callet cleanser. What's the matter with you?
That's quite an hour.
It's been a day.
Hi, Gary Vood, Mark Cox Show.
Park Mox.
Careful. It's going to turn bad, and we're not going to know it until it's too late.
Uh-oh. What just happened?
The
All
birth
right,
of Gary Vood.
Back to reality. We should have done a way back before we went in there. Now we're back in the
No, this is real time.
normal time. We're embarrassing. What is the matter with us?
Oh, podium,
Mostly you.
Podium. Oh, okay. Thank you. Carolyn with a C or a K?
The character had already been created. There just wasn't a name at that
Yeah, I
point.
had to name him.
Now everybody knows who Gary Vood is.
Yeah.
So if we talk about Gary Vood in the future, I don't have to feel like we have to explain it every time.
Now you know. At least if you heard this segment.
Yeah.
You now know.
There was everybody listening that day, and now there's everybody listening this day. That should about cover it.
That's it. You either listen at 12:45 or you listen at 2:30.
I mean, I think with podcasting is very much so what talk radio has been. I mean, I really think a lot of people thought podcasting would compete heavily with talk radio. I actually think podcasting has done wonders for talk radio. I think people are more interested in listening to conversations now than they were before. Now, there's a way to do it in a way that brings in newer audiences that aren't the, you don't have your kitchen radio on 24/7 to the same station all of the time. That's the way I grew up. KMOX was on every kitchen radio that I was around. So you became exposed to it. You learned about the people who are on the show. So you create connections. I know that there are people who feel when people meet me, they'll say things like, I don't want to be weird. I just feel like I know you so well. You ever had people kind of articulate to you that they feel like there's a relationship that exists because they know who we are?
Yeah, a lot of hugs. Hello, grandma.
From you?
Stuff. People say that to me.
Do they ask
Like,
you to kiss their babies' foreheads?
Yeah, I'm not sure you know who I am.
I didn't have a good idea. But when I have listened to things or shows or whatever over the course of time, and if you develop a long-term relationship with that show, there are things that they're kind of deep cuts from the show that if you are coming in at if you're new to the show, or if you're coming in and you're kind of not listening all the time, but you dip in and out, whatever, I always feel like those inside jokes when we refer to Gary Vood, like people need to understand that Gary Vood, this is what we're talking about. Like, you're part of our club. If you're brand new, we're happy you're here. Here's the Gary Vood inside joke that you are now a part of.
That's the problem. And that's the problem with being on for 3 hours a day.
Yeah.
Is that we know in
We
our
know
heads,
everything
we know
of the
that
lore of
you're
the story.
listening for 15 minutes probably in your car ride one direction or the other.
We'd
and
always
you're
love it
catching
if
this
you'd
and that.
listen 5 more minutes.
Yeah. But we have to also, and this is the trick, because I came from music radio to talk. We have to also entertain ourselves. Like we have
or
to,
more importantly, each other.
We have to make sure that we stay fully interested in everything that we're doing. Otherwise, you're just filling time. And we know that you don't want to tune in for that. So it ends up, you have a lot of inside jokes. There's no way around it.
Yeah.
You just do. But we want to make sure that that's open to everybody and not just, oh, if you're in the club, then you remember.
Yeah. And it's hard to do that. And then other people are like, oh, they're telling this story again. But we're telling it for people who might not have heard it. It's difficult. I know that I say some things that I say, especially if I'm talking to guests who I haven't talked to before. I might say that I have to say I'm 41 now, that I'm 41.
Ugh.
And yeah, I know. You remember 41? So
drove by it pretty fast.
I'll say to a guest, if I'm talking to someone, we had on the May mailman. Was that May? No, that was somebody else we had on the White House. It was before May. But I commented that I was 40 years old, and they very kindly said, oh, I would have thought you were 26. Now, that might have been something nice to say, but people might not know that I'm in my 40s, that I have 4 kids, that I'm on my second mortgage, my second home or whatever, that I have some life experience behind me. And so when I come to a conversation, it's just a brief amount of context that I can provide to the guests that I'm speaking to. So I reset those things. If you're somebody who listens to us, I mean, I have people who say I never miss a minute. They like spend their time with us 3 hours a day. That is so awesome and humbling and cool to hear. And we want y'all to be doing that, but that's not really the way most people consume radio. It's when I'm in my car, if I'm on sales calls, I listen to you for the whole 3 hours, but I'm in and out of my car the whole time. So you might miss something.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to provide context, and it's a very difficult thing from a radio, like as a broadcaster, to constantly be thinking about new people who are coming to the show. You know, if somebody hears that we're on the Fox News radio affiliate in St. Louis, that will say a lot of things to people. They will assume that we're conservatives. They will probably assume that we're Trump obsessed. You know, if you're not, and that might be a good thing. You could assume that we're conservatives and Trump obsessed, and that could be the selling point for you, or the I'll never tune into that ever for you. It really just kind of depends on how you consume those words like Fox News radio. But we try really hard on our show to show that we're real people. We are conservatives. We are Christians. We're family members. We're spouses. We're all happen to be married to teachers. So we have these things in our life that are very real. And all of that stuff comes before how we vote. How we vote is based on who we are as people. I'm trying to think if I were to list 5 characteristics about myself, if something political would even crack the top 5, maybe not even the top 10.
Yeah, I guess it depends on who you're talking to, too.
If you met someone for the first time and you wanted them to know something about you, the things that I would describe is more of like who I am to other people as like a Christian, a wife, a mom. I'd probably say talk show host, but I don't think I would say conservative talk show host per se. And I think that it's very often that if I were to tell someone I'm a conservative talk show host, there is a probably a Rush Limbaugh centered downflow. Nobody is Rush. But there are so many people who came after Rush who are trying to be Rush Limbaugh. You can't be Rush Limbaugh. One of a kind, pioneer in the industry, paved the way for so many more people to come out here and do radio. But you really have to offer something that is different and new And, I've always said to people, I cannot be Rush Limbaugh, but Rush Limbaugh also cannot be me because I am a middle-aged, Midwestern, Christian mom. These things that I am, he can't articulate from. And he had so many assets that I could never articulate from. Like, we have to figure out how to forge our own place here. And I think that we can only control what we do here from noon to 3. We always want you to understand that we're like real people living real lives. And there are a lot of things that happen to us that are way more important than what are the Republicans doing or what is Donald Trump doing. I think that if that were our focus every day, that would just make us like so many of the rest.
Yeah, it's a balance. It's tough to achieve that balance because we like goofing off. we really like having fun. And obviously people who come up to me, they appreciate that as much as anything. But it can't just be that, because we also, it's the thing about talk in general, is that you have to be a fairly well-rounded person. You can't just be this one thing. You got to talk about everything you're interested in. And all three of us are extremely passionate about the future of the country.
Yeah.
And the way, things are being carried out in the country under Joe Biden versus Trump versus whoever. What's Congress doing? Like, we're in the minutia of those things, not because we work at 97.1. We work at 97.1 because we're in the minutia of those things. Mm-hmm. We all like that stuff.
But there's a lot of what we cover and follow here that I sometimes wonder if I would follow it more, or if I would go deeper into some of these things if I didn't have a radio show. I feel like the barriers I put up around myself, because first of all, I have to know something about a lot of things. I can't just have like, this is my lane. But the other thing with a show like this that I think is so good, especially in the podcast world where you have all of this on-demand access to content, live radio are live podcasts. What we're doing is what podcasts are doing, but I don't know about most. A lot of podcasts have like a weekly episode, or maybe they come up on the weekend, or maybe they do a few a week. We have to do 15 hours of content, live radio every week. That is podcasting with like an extra level of spice to it, where if something derails completely on this show, we have to push through it. We do not get to edit it out. I might, in my mind, pretend that it never happened, and then people will remind me like, oh, I saw, or I heard you do that, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh yeah, that was not our finest moment. We have to turn our not finest moments into entertainment for you all, which usually involves some self-deprecation.
Yeah, and we got to find the floor a lot. We don't want to get to where like, we know that every segment isn't going to kill, but that hopefully they're all at least good. They might not all be the best ever, but you got to find that floor to make sure they don't go below this.
Yeah.
And then let the greatness happen. That's what I always say.
It's not what you say. Say it like Gary Wood.
Let the greatness happen. You just say it faster and louder. Anything you want.
With a lot of extra positive energy.
With positive energy.
Is there something you wanted to add to the segment?
No, I was just going to say that if we wanted to summarize it, we would say we're never turning back, right? We're only going forward. We're never turning back. Would you agree with that?
This is going to get stuck in my head.
What's going to get stuck in your head?
Keep on moving This is the one you edited with theatrical Titanic music. Oh. I love how you have all these things categorized in your head.
Wait a minute.
Trump is not a king.
Now we're running on the beach with an unbuttoned flowing shirt. I can't do it anymore.
There's only 10 seconds.
It's 10 seconds too much.
8, 7.
Thank you for your contributions
You're
to
welcome.
the show, Ryan.
You're
we couldn't do it without you like that. Literally.
That's it. That's all I got.
Couldn't do it without you. YouTube live chat poll. When we return, we'll get the results. Ethan will pop back in and we'll find out what you think. In addition to your phone calls in the 12 o'clock hour, your web poll results. Is Trump winning on tariffs? YouTube live chat poll. Yes or no? We'll be right back.
I'll show you. I think with my heart,
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
I heard him say, don't delay him say, far away, I heard him say.
Point Pest Control, point with an E, online at pointpestcontrol.com. Bugs are bad. That is pretty much my philosophy on all bugs. I know that there are bugs that do good things, but when they're in your home, no bueno. You want to reach out to Point Pest Control, and if you do like I do, you sign up for a quarterly plan, and then you don't have bugs in your house. If you find one, and the off chance that they find a way into your home, you call Point Pest Control, and they come take care of it. 636-798-0023. 636-798-0023. Point Pest Control will set you up and help you for any specific needs that you might have. For instance, if you have an ant problem in your home, if you have termites, you can see that termite damage potentially. You might not know if it's active or not. You need to make sure that Point Pest Control can guide you through the process of ensuring that it is not active or getting rid of those termites immediately upon discovery. Point Pest Control wants to guide you and protect you in your home, and they certainly have done that for me. I appreciate everything they do. 636-798-0023, pointpestcontrol.com.
We all have different ideas of the perfect retirement, but they all depend on the same thing: not running out of money. And preparing for retirement can sometimes be overwhelming, but it doesn't have to be. Find out how you could build your retirement on your terms. Join host Steve All for the All Financial Hour Saturday mornings at 6 here on 97.1 FM Talk.
You can also visit yourmoneymattersstl.com for more details.
I don't know if you heard with them, these energy mandates. Luckily, this year they stopped the continuation of this government mandates, but the new refrigerants did not stop, so that is out. So be careful, buyer beware on what you're purchasing. If you're looking for a new system and just want a common sense approach to picking a system, i.e., are you going to save money? Is your energy bills going down? All the stuff that we've been hearing for about the last 25 years. Bottom line is, when it comes to efficiencies, it's going to be your house. I only have 60 seconds to do this in, so if you want a common sense approach and you are looking at purchasing a system or getting prices on systems, please call me. It's one easy number, Missouri and Illinois. It's 314-293-2600. 314-293-2600, or on the internet is bartinman.com. That is Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
This station is now conducting a test of the emergency alert system. This is only a test.
Let me tell you one of the reasons I think we became the largest injury firm in the world, and it's not even close. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. My wife and I had a plan early on. In our firm, our lawyers only work on certain types of cases. Our products liability and dangerous drug lawyers only work on those cases. Same for car crashes, workers' compensation, medical malpractice, and insurance disputes. Our thinking is for these lawyers to focus on one area of the law and live it and breathe it. Power comes from knowledge. Many lawyers do everything, jack of all trades. Not us, and we don't charge an hourly rate. You only pay us if we win. If you want to hire us, it's easy. Dial Pound Law on your cell phone, pound 529, or visit forthepeople.com on your phone or computer from the comfort of your own home. Let us get to work for you. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com. Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Hey guys, it's Mark Reardon. If you're struggling with low energy, performance issues, or weight gain, Game Day Men's Health has got you covered with testosterone therapy, ED treatments, and more in all of a relaxed man cave environment. At Game Day, you'll get a free testosterone test and consultation, all in just 1 hour. Game Day is the premier men's health clinic with locations in Chesterfield, O'Fallon, Missouri, and Glen Carbon, Illinois. Visit GameDayMen'sHealth.com. That's GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Get back in the game with Game Day Men's Health. Hey, it's Mark Reardon for New Perspective Senior Living, where your loved one will enjoy chef-prepared meals, engaging activities, state-of-the-art technology, and a welcoming community that feels like home. Visit npseniorliving.com to schedule a tour today. New Perspective, where every day is a chance to live life on purpose.
I haven't seen the results of this poll yet, so we're going to see them live in just a couple minutes. You have a couple minutes to vote. That means also, is Trump winning on tariffs? Yes or no? It's the YouTube live chat poll of the day. And again, we will give you the results of this poll in about 7 or 8 minutes, so you can still vote and comment. 2:48. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Good afternoon. It's Mark Reardon. Some very interesting Supreme Court arguments today on a parental rights issue from Maryland. We talked about it a little bit with Ilya Shapiro yesterday. We'll run down what the high court said today during the argument. That and more coming up here after Fox News at 3.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on X at Annie Fry Show.
Gary Wood encourages you to stop playing the spoons and vote in the YouTube live chat poll. Is Trump winning on the tariffs? Yes or no? We'll give the results of this poll in a matter of minutes.
Can you imagine if our White House contact is listening right now?
It's like, that's the guy that's coming?
Wait a second. That's not what we said.
Is he using a pseudonym? The heck do we say yes to?
All right, we need to get Brad a haircut. Not because he needs it. I wouldn't have even thought you have to get a haircut. But how are you going to get this done?
No idea. I'll work it out.
Will you?
Maybe. I've been trying for 3 weeks, so
3 weeks. Yeah. Just make an appointment.
No, it's not that easy.
No.
You can't just make an appointment.
Is there anywhere you can walk in and just get a haircut?
I don't think so. I don't know of anywhere. There might be a barber somewhere that's still doing that.
Yeah, that's kind of what you would have to find, but
tell us who that is, if you know.
Where do you get your haircut when you go?
Either Heart Sews in downtown Collinsville, or if they are unavailable, I just go wherever.
Is that a local place?
Yeah.
Do you have to make an appointment?
Yeah.
On an app?
No, I call.
I'm interested.
Yeah, just call. That's
passing it along.
Talking to a human, you're engaging, and you're making a definitive appointment. That's okay to me. I don't love that I have to make an appointment, but that's better than I got to download.
This is my question. The frustration, Brad, is that you cannot get in an appointment without signing in an app.
Yeah, and making an appointment essentially. My biggest problem is that I don't know A, what time I'm leaving here in the evening, and B, how bad traffic is going to be. So if I make an appointment, say I think I'm going to leave here at 4:30 and I make an appointment for 5, which should give me 10 minutes to spare to get there. It's never a guarantee, and Murphy's Law states that if I make that appointment, I will have 40 minutes of traffic and I will be late, or there will be something here that will drag me on longer.
Is what you want is just to be able to walk in?
Yes, that's
what
what
if
I
they're
want.
busy?
How did they do it before?
Because isn't
That's the
walking?
question.
But that's my question. Like, you walk in, and you said they were like, we have a 103-minute wait.
Yeah, so I walked out.
But they could have put you. You could have walked in, and then you would have had to wait 103 minutes. You could walk in and get a haircut,
unless somebody else registered for that time slot on the app, and then they would have bumped me back. I've sat in this place that I was talking about where I had a 10-minute wait, and it's gone from 10 to 20 to 50 as people sign in on an app.
Have you ever gone to get a haircut at this place and been happy?
One time. And I walked in and they're like 10 minutes, and it was 10 minutes and I got the haircut.
And how many times have you been unhappy?
5.
It's probably time to look.
Just go
I've
somewhere
been
else.
looking.
Start shopping.
I've been
They all do this now.
My wife will tell you this. I'll start at a place and it'll be great, and then all of a sudden schedules get in the way, and then I can't make it in there, and then I got to find some other place because it's been 6 weeks and I desperately need a haircut. It's not an emergency, I get it, but then I'll start going to that place, and then same thing will happen. It's like, make appointments, it's great.
What about going to a hair salon?
Like, because I went to like
beauty brands.
Aren't all these places are salons, aren't they?
Yeah.
All the places we're talking about, like the
I
chain
don't know
places.
that the
Your
chain
Great
places where
Clips is-
you walk in and there's sports everywhere and there's like fake lockers. I don't know
Well,
that they
that's
cut
probably not
women's
a
hair.
salon.
That one's different, but like places like Look After Hair Company or Great Clips or any of those Supercuts, any of those places, I've been to them all. And it's just
And it's not the haircut you have a problem with. It's the system.
Yeah.
it's the system.
He
yeah.
wants to take the whole system down.
I can tell. That's your business opportunity. Walk-ins only. And then what happens if everyone's like, this is the place, and everybody goes to walk in and then you have to wait?
Well, but that's the chance you took because you just never knew and you'd walk up. But the thing is, there's only so many people that can wait in the waiting room.
Mm-hmm.
So you knew it'd only be, 4 or 5 people ahead of you.
When you have the apps, then there's
It
4
could be
people
20
sitting in
people.
the lobby, but then there's like 20 people on the board.
Low tech. That's the future.
So is your only problem with this place that you walked into, is your only problem that when you walked in and there was a 103-minute wait, that you couldn't reserve the next place in line without having to get on
At
the
the
app?
end of that 103 minutes, yeah.
So if you would be able to walk in and they're like, oh, it's a 103-minute wait right now, but we can put you in, then you wouldn't have a problem.
Right. They put me in line. It would have been, I mean, I wouldn't have waited 103 minutes, but yeah.
You're
if I
not
could just
angry
get
at
in-
the system then.
There needs to
Right.
be a kiosk in the store.
Right.
Is
Well,
your-
the
can go
kiosk
on- I
has
went.
to matter.
You can go online and you can sign up and you don't have to download an app, but you do have to sign up. You don't have to have an
Yeah.
app.
Yeah. So
but you need an account.
You have to sign up. Yeah.
it would be solved by being able to still walk in and just put your name in right there.
Yeah.
That would solve it.
I don't understand why a business wouldn't agree to that. I understand the amount of people they can serve and the streamlined process, especially if clearly they're busy all the time. I get why they do it. Plus, they get your information.
Yes.
I get why they do that. And I am past I don't want man haircuts are us to have my information because I'm protecting it. Because folks,
We're
that
gone.
ship is so far gone. You're not getting that back.
I still want that. I want them to think this guy clearly lives in the woods.
Yeah, just look at him. Hasn't had a haircut in
6
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
It's Grizzly Adams.
I'm
over
here to
there.
get my money's worth.
YouTube live chat poll going around the room. Is Trump winning on tariffs? Yes or no? Ryan.
I'm going to say no because there has to be some sort of evidence of a win so far. He's not there yet. Doesn't mean I'm against the tariffs.
I'm a yes because I think there has to be an evidence of a loss because he told us when he pitched tariffs to us that it wasn't going to be easy at first. And again, we are I have it on my phone now. We are 92 days into this presidency and there is no definitive finality to a loss yet. So I'm still thinking he is winning, but I don't think he has won, but I would vote yes. Brad?
I am a yes on this. I think that he is winning because people are coming to the table. He's making progress in what he's trying to get done, and he's not being stonewalled.
Ethan, you got any thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think that you guys summed it up perfectly right there. Yes, hasn't been won, but ground is being made, I would say. So 266 votes on today's YouTube live chat poll. Is Trump winning on tariffs? The majority are in favor, saying yes, 83% to be exact.
All right. Well, there is still some ground to cover, and we will continue to cover that right here on the Annie Fry Show. A reminder, if you go to AnnieFryShow.com, all things Annie Fry Show are right there, including our podcast that Ryan works so hard on each and every day. Go give those a listen and check out the titles. Ryan likes to title the podcast episodes. Mark Reardon, next.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads? Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. You don't hear fast-talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent. The Lance Story Law Firm primarily focuses on one thing, IRS problems, and we're regulated by the Bar Association, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. IRS issues are serious legal issues. The Lance Story Law Firm has helped thousands of clients navigate the best resolution plans, and we tell you up front exactly how much it'll cost. Tax resolution law is all we do. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Land Story Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Call today to schedule your free consultation with me, 314-260-6120, or visit lance.drurylaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw with Retirement Advisory Group. Are you worried about market volatility? Are you concerned your money won't last you through retirement?
Hi, I'm Tammy Kershaw, and as a family-owned business, we are committed to protecting your retirement, whether you're nearing retirement or already retired. We have a lot of folks that aren't aware of all the new investment choices that are available, which give you growth and protection from losses at the same time. Are you aware of all the fees that you are currently paying? We can show you how to avoid those fees. So come in now for your free retirement review and get a second opinion